All
Um,
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Podrace After Party. I'm General Catan, the host, and my co-host, Flipp Doubt.
I'm Flipped Out, and welcome. Today we are hosting John Matrixx and a special guest,
Stephanie Janisek.
Stephanie.
Hey, hey, you said it right. Right.
We're good.
You said it right. Hey,
We
I'm always
try.
shocked. No, seriously, I'm always shocked when people pronounce my last name right. It's like, no, it's yo, good, you did it. Oh my gosh. So kudos for you. Thank you,
Well, I
and thank
live
you
in
for
Europe,
having me.
so the surname is very close to my European neighbors, and it's very close to what I'm used to pronouncing. So I cannot get a like a European slash Slavic
Yeah,
um, surname wrong. I've had
yeah,
years of practice. I'm
yeah.
glad
Oh well,
I didn't ridicule myself.
I
yeah.
have to admit
Well,
that it was the Google Home that helped me pronounce your name originally.
ah, okay, all right. Well, I that's it's actually my husband's last name. I'm actually German and Norwegian. So,
Wie
uh,
geht's, mein Fräulein?
ah, uh, mir geht's gut. Mir geht's gut.
Ja, sehr gut.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that's my husband's last name, and he's actually half Italian. So you know,
Well,
that's like
Europe is a giant cauldron.
yeah. Oh, I know that. I actually lived in Germany for a while, so um, was studying. So I kind of I I've you know I know that. I mean, just in Germany alone, pronouncing words and the local colloquial there are
It's a war zone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we have a lot to address, to discuss. Bonnie's on the chat. She says hi to everyone. Hi to
Hi,
Bonnie
Bonnie.
and the rest.
Hi.
Bonnie.
Hello.
So let us get started with our guests. John Matrixx, I like your content because you discuss a lot of things that we discuss. That's why we have a lot in common. And I believe that you also disagree with the state of the Last Jedi, of what Disney tried to pull off with Star Wars theory. That's a topic that's not going away for a long time. Because despite the fact that Lucasfilm stepped in, it's still a very douchey move by Disney, and we cannot just shrug it off like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I've been listening to a lot of channels, some of them have been pushing it away from Disney, like Disney's not at fault, even though it says clearly on the copyright claim that it is Walt Disney Music Company, who is actually owned by Walt Disney. So I don't see how people can try to make an excuse for Disney and Warner Chappell. Um, they're all under the Disney umbrella. So it comes down to Disney is overall responsible for their actions.
John, I would agree with that. I just happened to be at home when I learned about all this. So I sent a video out, and I think you were right there with me within that hour. But I got this comment from somebody. I don't want to name their name, but they were telling me that Warner Chappell and EMI are in conjunction with Disney, but where actually the sole responsibility it fell on them for the monetization. But you know what? I am so glad, and it is so refreshing to hear you say that it doesn't matter. It's still under the Disney umbrella, and it is.
Right, exactly. I mean, the excuses for Disney really has to stop. I mean, think of it. If you're the CEO of a company and all of your employees beneath you are doing shady things, that comes back on you. You're responsible for your employees.
Um,
You
can
know,
I uh, can I ask a quick question? What do you guys think the reason that Bob Iger just disappeared just like that from Twitter, from the face of the earth when it comes to social media? Why do you think he just disappeared suddenly after all this?
Oh man. Let me answer first. I think it had a lot to do with the earnings report. Looking at where Disney's really losing money is not just in merchandise and other publishing and with Lucasfilm. It's the films are not doing well, and you can backfill it and hide it behind Marvel, but people can still see it. I think that was part of it. I think he was waiting. There's something going on. Now, if Craig from Reviews for You is listening, and I hope he is, and I know Bonnie is listening, his behavior of late, Iger's behavior of late just says there's something more going on with the earlier things that were going on with Kennedy. To me, I mean, it has something to do with, I think, Lucasfilm, and not what he was saying on Twitter. Because if you look at what he's saying on Twitter, it had more to do with what they wanted to do with the Star Wars theme park. It sounded like he was mocking something else, and he was using Marvel to do it, and Captain Marvel to do it. It just, to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but really, I think it does have something to do with what we've been why we're all here right now, which is the demise, I think, and death of Lucasfilm. And the fact that Disney doesn't understand that it's going to have to change. It's going to have to leave Lucasfilm as it is and not try to Disneyfy it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is happening. Is I think it has something to do with that. Or I don't know what I'm probably wrong. I've been wrong more than I've been right, but there you go. So we'll see.
Well, as of lately, the topics that you come up with, it's not like a Mike Zero-esque thing that is purely speculation or clickbaity. What you're saying actually has grounds on what's going on, and your from what I've seen, your content is very reasonable. We are all reasonable people here, and like I said in my previous Lucasfilm rant, we are the vocal minority that became a huge angry mob, and we're getting traction on this.
Well, here's the deal. When I look at the fact that Rotten Tomatoes won't count zeros and 1 stars, that 45% for TLJ is not right. It's more like 25%.
Yeah.
We are a very large majority. I mean, casual. I remember going to see TLJ because I bought an opening day ticket because I was sure I knew what was going to happen. And 3 days before that, thank God, Grace Randolph spilled what it was, and I was so livid. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go watch it. And I did a reaction right away as I was driving home. I was so pissed off. I was crying. And people walking out were silent. You don't walk out of a Star Wars movie and be silent. You walk out of a Star Wars movie and you're either uplifted or, okay, now what's going to happen? You're excited, even if it was sad at the end, you're excited to find out after, what's the next step. Everyone leaving, even casual fans were like, wow, that really sucked, and other people look like they've been gut punched, and I was livid. I mean, I was just staring at the screen the whole time, not really even seeing it. I was so angry, I mean, and I've got the DVD. A friend of mine gave it to me because he wants me. He's begging me to do a commentary on it. Watch commentary, and I can't do it. I can't bring myself.
I tried watching the Last Jedi in September before I left Greece. There was this 15-day there was this Star Wars saga marathon, and it was supposed to end with a premiere of The Last Jedi. And my friends know I hate it, so they said, "Okay, are you going to sit through it? Or are you going to watch it?" And I said, "You know what? The only way I can do this is if I don't know if I'm drunk or something, drugged, I don't know." So I sat through the point where Rose meets Finn, and I completely turned off the TV because I know what was going to happen. I said, "I can't sit through this. I just can't." I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's like, what does this? See, here's the deal. I had that huge argument with that idiot on that other channel. about Reylo. It doesn't. It's not Star Wars. We all know that. It doesn't make any sense in the saga. It doesn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. And I and I'm not the vocal minority on that. It doesn't make any sense as far as Star Wars goes. It's violent. It's abusive. Why anybody would think that was awesome? And we also know that it was stolen from fan fiction. You know, there was not just one fan fiction that Johnson stole from. There were 6 different ones. 6. It's like he lost his perspective on what he wanted to do, and because they were so focused on these stupid women who don't go to the movies over and over again, they don't buy the merchandise, they really don't care about what's going on, they just want this. They focused on it, forgot about us, and we're like, well, F you. It's like, I'm sorry, someone's going to be out of a job, and it's going to be you guys for doing that, you know. And they don't apologize for it, and I don't get it. They don't care about what they're doing, and Johnson didn't either. I mean, when he told Mark Hamill, we're making the movie we want to make, and I'm sure Mark thought, well, it's not the movie I want to make. You know, I'm sure Carrie Fisher somewhere in her head was saying, it's not the movie I want to make, asshole. You know, you know, and now we're stuck with this giant popped zit that is sitting there right out in front of us. It's gross, it's pussy, it's oozing. And we're like, oh, we're all supposed to go, yay, look at that. That's Star Wars. No, it's not. It's not.
You bring up a good point, Stephanie. When I see all of the backlash now, I think that Lucasfilm, Disney, they got away from the demographics of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't think they paid attention at all. I mean, it's not sexist to actually say that the vast majority of Star Wars fans are men.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all look at our analytics when we put up videos. And when I do Star Wars videos, it's like, I'm not even joking, it's like 97 to 98% men.
Yeah.
On my analytics. And I'm pretty sure that they have a lot better analytical data than what we actually have. Yeah. And now, you know, they come out with the Force is female. If you don't like this character, you're racist. This character, you're sexist. You got to like Rose Tico. It's so out of control right now to where they've just pretty much alienated the fan base.
Yeah. And you know, my thing is, when you start analyzing these people who support Reylo crap, you bring up Finn and they freak out. And I've seen them say some really disgusting racist things about John Boyega, you know, and I'm going, you know what? I'm sorry. But the Star Wars fans are really angry about this. And Odin's movie blog is right. Is the most diverse group of people I have ever seen in my life. To sit there and say that you like the pasty-faced mule boy, and because, I don't know, what is there to be attracted to? He has no movie star. I mean, Adam Driver, God bless him, but he is so pathetically not what a movie star looks like. You know, he's just. And I'm going to start there. There's nothing attractive about him. There's nothing charismatic about him. There's nothing masculine about him if you really look at his face. He's just an emo douchebag. And, you know, and he plays an emo douchebag. And it's like, why do you care about this guy? You know, and then to rip on John Boyega, and I'm like, you know, JJ was probably going for the first filmed racial you know, couple in Star Wars fandom. I mean, that's what I think he was doing. And they just crap on it all the time. And it's like, you guys are a bunch of racist little bitches. And they are. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't care. I could see Finn Ray happening from the moment they met. And when Han says, you got another problem, big deal, women always find out. Always. He could see it coming. That's what they were trying to tell us. You know? I mean, the idea that some guy who skull f's you and gaslights you is hot and he can be changed. It's like, I'm sorry. I've been to
Well,
this.
Stephanie, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you say the "I can change you" thing, do you see what a harmful relationship model that Disney's trying to promote to women and generally relationships
Yeah.
today? It's
Well,
like the abusive guy. You see him treat his parents like shit. Okay, because he treated Han like shit. So I'm basically trying to ground this in reality. So it's the guy that treats his father like crap, always bitches about his family, wanting to be something that is not. And so he abuses the girl, and the girl says, "You know what? I can change him." And we've seen this countless times before, and it is a role model that needs to be avoided. It was always a
yeah.
bad example that people used to use. It's not going to go away. But the thing is that the fact that Disney is promoting this after Anakin and Padme, after Han and Leia, two gorgeous couples. I loved seeing them together. And now
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
what they want to promote to people. This is what I noticed.
Well,
Part of the
it's
agenda.
yeah.
There really
Um,
hasn't
Yeah,
been
I
very
honestly,
many couples in Star Wars history, to tell you the truth.
no,
I
there
mean,
haven't been.
there's pretty much been Han and Leia and Anakin and Padme and Clone Wars, Duchess Satine and Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan.
kind of.
Yeah, alluded
That's
to.
that, that's pretty much it.
Oh,
It
and
really has.
Ventress with what's his name called? Quinlan Voss. But that's in the book Dark Disciple, I think.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
I
he had a
haven't read the book.
relationship with Asajj. I just don't
Aside,
understand why they need to have a relationship at all for the sequel trilogy. I mean, we
I
already
know.
have one, and that's Han and Leia. It makes no sense. Like, why the younger ones need to have a relationship as soon as they step on set makes no
I
sense
know.
to me at all. I mean, they're
I know.
just dipping their little toes in the pool of this huge world, and oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, you need a boyfriend, you need a girlfriend, and we
Yeah.
need to have this, like you said, this emo. I look at him like a spoiled brat. He
Yeah.
was raised as Han and Leia's son. He was given everything, and
Yeah.
he got shipped off to be a Jedi, and he got upset by that. Like, I'm sorry, I've said this
Yeah.
before. I would send my mom postcards. Okay, like, see you later.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Well, it's in
understand it.
part
I don't.
it's in part due to the way they treated Han Solo. They said he was a deadbeat dad and he left Leia. If, if you look at how Kylo Ren or Ben Solo was shipped off to, like, they're trying to say he was shipped off to boarding school, Jedi Academy or whatever, and that Han
Yeah.
disappeared and he's just an angry teenage boy that never grew up and misses his daddy and hates his daddy for leaving or something. So it's embarrassing on both ends,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
truly
the
embarrassing.
head. See, here's the deal: the head canon that these idiots have, we don't know what really happened. I mean, I had bloodlines for a little bit, and then I torched it. I really did. I torched it. I saved the parts of it though. There's nothing like that in there. In fact, what I find fascinating is, and you guys know how I feel about Claudia Gray. I mean, she blocked me for a reason on Twitter. I hate her. I really hate her. Um, you know, Basically Leia, and it's such an immature way of dealing with Leia's Vader heritage. The way that Gray handles it. It's like, oh my God, this is not how. What? Leia is found out to be Vader's daughter, and all this stuff happens, and Han has to come and rescue her. He's the only guy that shows up, and then Leia has to go back and deal with all this crap, and he's like, "I'll stay if you want me to," and Leia's like, "Well, and they're in bed together, by the way, which was really interesting. So I'm trying to figure out what that actually means there. And Leia says, "Well, I would hate to be I think it would be worse for me to have them cancel this racing thing that he was part of, rather than it would be worse than being Vader's daughter if I made them cancel that." So she basically lets him go. You know damn well at the end of Return of the Jedi, if Leia needed him, Han wouldn't have left, even if she said, "Go and do what you want." He wouldn't have. And the reason why is because she was there for him when he needed her the most. And, you don't, after everything that he'd been through, you don't just walk away from that.
Hey, do you buy the fact that they broke up like that?
No.
No, I don't think anyone
Something
does.
else. See, here's the deal. Something else had to happen. And I thought, how did he lose the Falcon? That is so out of bounds for that character. What happened? And then he runs into Ray, who's flying the Falcon as well as he does, which is a clue. And
I hate that. I really hate that.
Yeah. And then he finds out, what her name is, and the look on his face is Ray. It's almost like he expected her to say that name. And I kind of thought, him losing the Falcon, looking for his daughter, and then the way his reaction when he's watching Kyle Ron carry her away, like, I've seen you do this before, boy. You could have a flashback scene where both him and Luke end up getting to the Jedi Academy after everything happened and sees the little 5-year-old Rey being dragged off by her brother, right? And then the anger that Han has towards Luke when Rey asked, was it Finn? No, it was Rey saying, "You're Han Solo," blah blah blah, and he says, "I used to be," and then he says, "I knew him. I knew Luke," and he spits the name out there. I can see Han blaming Luke for all this stuff. All right, you screwed up. You screwed up with Ben, and now he's stolen our daughter. And you could imagine that, and then Luke saying, "Well, can I help you look for her?" And he's like, "No, you've already done enough. No," and that's the last time he saw her. Does that make any sense? Yes, but in Lucasfilm's idea, no, we're not going to tell you what really happened. We're going to destroy all 3 main OT characters because we want to sell our new characters, and everyone's like, "Yeah, but they suck."
That was their biggest mistake, really. Was just pushing the new characters to the side and just throwing in the new characters that are bad. I mean, if they would have gradually just put in the new characters, I think people would have accepted, Finn, Rey, and Poe a lot better. Maybe not Rey so much because, oh my God, she has so many problems as a main character.
I know. Well, first off, JJ not giving her an actual last name like they gave Luke, and an identity beyond Rey, nobody, which, and then she finds out who she is, like Luke did.
I'm thinking that Rey may not even be her real name. That's what I think.
Well, I've heard that it's another name. In fact, George Lucas, she is modeled on the character that he created for the sequel trilogy, and her name was Kira, Kira, or Kira, and I wouldn't doubt that that's actually her name.
Hey, Steph, on the helmet that she's wearing when she's eating her portions, so to speak, in the Force Awakens, on her helmet in Arbresh it says Rey.
Yeah,
and
R-E-H,
so I think that's the idea that she named herself, maybe. So I think you're right, Matrixx.
Yeah, it's not her name. When you watch her Force back vision, it's so obvious what happened to her. She was at the Jedi Academy as a little 5-year-old girl. The idiot shows up with his gang, kill all the kids and take her away. Because he kills that one night that's going to kill her.
But if that's the case, how does she not know pretty much anything about the Jedi or anything? Because remember, she said that she thought Luke was a myth, and she didn't know what the Force was. So that could cause a lot of problems.
Well, you can do a Jedi mind wipe, and I know that Kyle Ron would be perfectly capable of doing that. And then, because to me it's like, if you watch that, it's like, you know what? If he's trying to hide her from everybody and Snoke finds out there's another one, Snoke is going to be really mad at him. Now, because he's not only hiding her from his mother and his father, he's hiding her from, and Luke, he's hiding her from Snoke, if you think about it. And that would have been a very interesting little conundrum for him to work out with that, Uncle Snokey McSnokerton. So, I mean, I just, in fact, I had this was what I was told. I don't know if you guys heard this one, but a friend of mine who's a director in Hollywood and very close to certain people basically spilled the beans on what the spoilers, we thought. And Kyle Ron was actually adopted, and Leia was having a hard time carrying a child full term. And Luke found this baby, and the baby, he and the baby show up, and basically the baby takes the place of the one they just lost. They name him Ben, which is really weird. Why would Han and Leia name their kid Ben? I don't know. And then afterwards, I don't know what happens, but Han sort of does something, and Leia is pregnant with a girl, and has the girl gives the baby to Luke to take to the academy to train. And the baby's hidden there. She's hidden there from everybody except for Leia and Luke. Because of course they know who she is. And Kyle Ron figures it out, and that's why he saves her. And so, but that would have been an interesting and sad story, I think. But the idea, but again, it doesn't answer how Han lost the Falcon, and I just don't see him losing the Falcon by being an idiot. You know?
Do you see the mental gymnastics that we have to do in order to actually comprehend what the hell has happened after Return of the Jedi?
I know.
I mean, yeah, maybe she's a clone of Luke's, or maybe, yeah, how Han maybe remembers her, and how does she not know Leia? But how does Ben understand who she is, and why does Snoke have so much interest in her? What the hell? Where did she get these force power from? See, no explanations. And J.J. Abrams' mystery box it's an excuse.
Well, he he really screwed up again. I mean, and he knows he did. Trust me. I mean, the stuff that because he screwed up not giving a clear view of who she was. And of course, if you watch the movie, you can tell who she is. I mean, Daisy herself said her parents were in The Force Awakens. It was obvious to her who they were, and she shocked no one else noticed. I noticed, I mean, if you forget, there are two Skywalker kids, not one. And just because Luke got the lightsaber doesn't mean she's his daughter. It could mean that she's Leia's daughter, and then she can fly the Falcon, on the way Han interacts with her. To be honest, Harrison Ford's chemistry with Daisy was a lot better in that fatherly sort of role than Mark Hamill's was. But of course, it just, everything was hostile between them from the get-go, which was, dumb, Roundhead's intent. I just, to me, I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do. I know that they're going to have some sort of meeting of the minds there, because apparently they're bringing in a discount Yuzhan Vong to attack the galaxy. So I don't know. I mean, it's basically what they're doing is they're copying the EU in a cheap discount way, and it pisses
if they copied the EU, we would be happy. We got nothing. I mean, they say, yeah, they're deriving the EU, and they're actually using it in the sequel trilogy. I remember I had this discussion with Sky once on Twitter, and he said, of course they are. And I said, okay, just show me one reference. Give me one good reference. And guess what he told me that it still gives me rabies to this day? He said that Finn is basically Kyle Katarn. I'm like, what? Come again? Kyle Katarn defected from the Empire just like Finn did. And he has a cool jacket just like Kylo Ren. And I said, okay, so switching sides and a wardrobe doesn't actually make you Kyle Katarn, dude.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, he doesn't even have force powers.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, it's like, I just roll my eyes and go, you guys, come on. I mean, they don't know what they're doing. And I think what makes me so angry is that the people that had been there so long at Lucasfilm, like Pablo Hidalgo and others who are supporting all this garbage, they act like it's our fault. They act like, well, you don't like it because blah, blah. It's like, no, here's why we don't like it. A, B, and C. And they didn't put any thought to it. They just wanted to get rid of the EU completely with all those great characters. B, rewrite everything badly. What we should have got is a really good hand-drawn animated movie, 3 animated feature films of the Thrawn trilogy. You know, that would have been great. You could have gotten voice actors. You wouldn't have to worry about hiring actors and the fans freaking out that this person doesn't look like this and blah blah blah. But no, instead we got JJ hurrying the script together in 6 months. You know, and it's like, well, you guys, I just, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a big complaint for me about the script. The script was written way too fast for episode 9 after Colin Trevorrow was let go. So my theory is that I guess, because we all know that, I don't know if you guys know or not, but JJ actually had like drafts for 8 and 9 already written out.
yeah.
So I'm assuming that he probably went back to that. Now, I don't know how The Last Jedi really affected his script, his original script, I should say. But I'm pretty sure that he had to do a lot of rewrites and stuff on his original script to actually make it happen, because I'm pretty sure he was thinking that Luke would be alive in episode 9.
Here's what I know. He wanted Luke to be alive. Kathleen Kennedy said no. Any of the original 3 just took everything away from the new characters, and it was going to actually 8-9 was going to be intended to be Carrie's movie, and he hates J.J. Abrams, or J.J. hates Rian Johnson. Now, Rian Johnson was writing The Last Jedi while they were filming The Force Awakens. J.J. looked at the first script and said, "Okay, it's great, fine." Did he read the same script that we saw? I don't know. I don't think so, because he was livid. I know for a fact Bob Iger hates The Last Jedi. I know for a fact he hates Rian Johnson, and the fact that we have never seen him talk once publicly about a Johnson trilogy proves that there isn't going to be one. You know.
Well, I don't know how much they actually hate him, because they saw the movie way before it came out. They approved of everything. They gave Rian Johnson a trilogy. So maybe they're trying to save face from the backlash.
No, they're not. He does hate him. I know that for a fact. People have told me that are heavyweights in Hollywood have told me that in fact, very few people in the film industry like the movie. They don't understand what Kennedy thinks she's doing. You know, Ridley Scott himself said, you know, you hire these young directors who've never done anything like this. You let them off their leash so they can do what they want. And this is, you know, this is bad. This is just, you know, and Ridley Scott himself said that, you know, and he wasn't calling out Kathleen Kennedy by name, but he was calling out Lucasfilm. Back in September, see, here's what happened. A year ago, this last September, when JJ was named to take over for Colin Trevorrow, Kennedy was pushing for Rian Johnson to take episode 9, and Iger said, "No, I want JJ." And he got what he wanted. As a big boss, he gets what he wants. JJ had to retcon the living shit out of TLJ to make it fit with what he wanted. He is not happy at all. And you know, it's telling that when Daisy found out JJ was going to be directing episode 9, she cried, tears of joy, which makes me think that at least the actors like him. At least they get something out of working with him. But my contacts in Hollywood are like, RJ's lucky he doesn't get run out of town on a rail. He's really lucky for that. He doesn't have a trilogy. I think they'd probably be smart to publicly announce we're buying his contract out so he can move on and we can move on. But I think what they're doing, there's a YouTuber named Midnight's Edge, and you go and watch what he has said about this, because it's basically a very good summary of what's actually going on. He basically said that that the reason why Kathleen Kennedy got a 3-year extension is because it couldn't find anybody else to take her spot, because no one wants to be there when episode 9 flops, and it will flop. if it won't, if it doesn't make $1 billion, it'll be considered not good. And I don't think it'll make $600 million. I really don't. And they don't, whoever takes over Lucasfilm doesn't want that in front of them. I mean, they wiped the slate clear of every project she had. The only one they're working on is episode 9. And from what I've heard, she's storming around the offices screaming about how bad the men are to her and that she was right about everything and she didn't make any bad decisions. So welcome to the world of third wave feminists, you know. And that's, and I, just by watching what hasn't been happening and the fact that she has not been public since Solo says a lot. Even the way they said they gave her a 3-year contract extension.
Well, the reason they did that is because no one was going to step in the hot zone.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
No one gets the job. It'll flop. It'll be on her watch. You know.
Yeah, the word is that they actually offered it to JJ, but he turned it down flat. And I heard there's a. Oh, please tell.
To Lucasfilm right now, the way that Kennedy put it all together with their story group is a toxic mess. You can be as liberal as the day is long, but if you're not their kind of liberal, they won't work with you at all. She put in a bunch of people who aren't Star Wars fans. They don't like Star Wars, and they're there to push an agenda. And JJ knows it, and JJ doesn't want anything to do with it. Now, the moment she's gone, whoever comes in can kick them out, can fire all of them. Now, if it was me, if I was running Disney, I would keep her there, but I'd fire them anyway. I'd be like, they have to go. The fans have to know we're doing something, you know? Because it looks bad. It just looks bad, you know? So it's a mess. And I know why JJ wouldn't take it. Now, I think that he probably is actually going to take it. I think when episode 9 flops, I think he'll come in and bring his own thing. And I think what they're going to do is bring Bad Robot in to be the sister ship with Lucasfilm and keep the people that actually did the jobs. Like Dave Filoni is obviously now head of creative, and keep the other people that were doing their jobs. But I think you're going to see a lot of names leave. And, you know, there are a lot that need to go. I mean, and I will be very happy to see him go.
Yeah, the story group needs to be disbanded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually think it has been in a way. But they're just, I mean, you know, I want public. I want it transparent. Because the fans are owed that after all the crap we've taken. The fans are owed that, you know. It would be a show of good faith if they did it too. So, anyway, it's heartbreaking to me. It really is. And it's worrisome too. I don't like seeing little girls being told that this is a great relationship. You know, I don't like little girls thinking that they don't have to work hard. I don't like little girls hating on guys. They shouldn't. You know, I don't get it. I don't, you know, and I don't get why Kennedy lied to Lucas in his face. She looked right into his eyes and lied to him.
Yes, she did. 100% agree with that.
Well, actually, there was this very good comment by Thug Life Jeremy. JJ is the only person I think is a Star Wars fan who has anything to do with these, but he is a bad filmmaker. He makes a corporate product, not a creative vision. And that is so true, because what Disney did, they went by the numbers like a company. I stressed this a lot in the past. People didn't believe me back then. They thought that, you know, hey, it's Disney, you know, they made good things in the past. And I said that just because they did good things doesn't mean that they can't flop. So Disney, being a company, what they did when they first purchased Lucasfilm, they said, okay, let's run the statistics. And I don't know if you guys remember, but 2012 was a time of hating the prequels. It was cool, you know. with Hello Greedo just spreading all of this hate. And I'm going to say this: I don't know if you guys are Hello Greedo fans. I appreciate some of the things he tries to say. I mean, I understand his merits. I subscribe to him. I used to be a fan, but then I saw that he was trying to play the middle, but in a very negative way. You know, when you're playing the middle, you do it like Stupendous Wave or Star Wars Theory. You do not take a shit on the prequels because the prequels have so much more to explore than the original trilogy. Let's be objective. The original trilogy is solid, and it's a good thing that it's solid, but the prequels have a lot more backstory to it.
You know, General,
Yeah.
it's funny because later on, in fact, this past year, he started watching the Clone Wars, and he's all of a sudden on board with the prequels when it has to do with the Clone Wars.
Yeah, so I mean, isn't that hypocrisy? It's hypocrisy.
It's unbelievable. As soon as I saw him starting to do that, this had to be about, I don't know, January of last year, because it was right after December, and I was searching everyone's YouTube, you know, to see who was talking negatively about The Last Jedi, so I could understand that I'm not alone and crazy. And he started saying, "Oh well, I'm finally gonna watch the Clone Wars," and I'm thinking, "You white helmeted dumb motherfucker! All you've done is complain about how much you hate them." So yeah, it's totally hypocrisy.
The reason he's reviewing this in such a good light is because it is perceived well by the public. That's why. So what he's doing is pandering to a demographic.
Yeah, he's clickbait.
And
I mean,
guys,
the Clone Wars gave us a lot.
The most recent thing that this guy uploaded right now, I swear to God, I'm on my YouTube library, and this is his video title. I hate it when he does these ironic Last Jedi attacks on the fans. He has how Luke should have been the Last Jedi, and he's basically just taking the piss out of the Last Jedi haters. And you know, when he does that, he makes me really, really angry because instead of, you know, being a big channel and using his status to unite the fandom like Star Wars Theory does, he's a douchebag and he says, "Now, fuck you." And that's what makes me angry about, you know, guys like Hello Greedo. And the fact that Disney's a company, is a corporation, they're going to look at the numbers. They panned the prequels because that's why they also canceled the Clone Wars. That's what I believe. And they started on Star Wars Rebels because they said statistically everyone likes the original trilogy more than prequels, and they were wrong. People love the prequels.
Yeah, I went back and watched all the prequels after The Last Jedi just to get the stink out of my mind, and there's so much to them. there's so much to them. You know, Lucas is a great storyteller. His biggest problem is that he can't self-edit. And if they would have been edited a little bit differently, Clone Wars especially, and a little bit on the Phantom Menace, it would have been great. People would have, the backlash would have been very small, I think. But, you know, they're still, you know, they are great movies. They're very poignant. There's a lot to them. There's a lot of depth. They're a good backdrop to what happened after for the OT. There's absolutely nothing in what they're trying to do with the sequel trilogy that is a good ending at all for any of this. My thing is, if you wanted to do a sequel trilogy, don't bring the OT characters back. If you're going to do that to them, don't bring them back.
True.
You know,
Yep.
just, you know, because all you're doing is ruining them.
Yeah, I almost wish that the sequel trilogy would have started like 300 years after Return of the Jedi, based on what they've given us now.
Yeah.
That way they wouldn't destroy the original characters.
Oh no, we have Black Angus in the chat now. Well, he's in the stream with us.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm on my way to work, so I'll be a little bit in and out right now. But I'm glad to join, glad to be here. Proceed.
It's good to have you, man.
Good to see you, Bangus.
Good to see you, man.
So I have a question for Steph and John. If you could live in any, you know, era of Star Wars, where would you want to live? And like, what would you be doing?
In any era? I would like to live in the like in the Clone Wars era. That would be really, really cool. And living on Coruscant.
Oh, let's see. I don't know. Probably OT era. I don't know what I'd be doing, but it'd probably be ducking and dodging, you know. I don't really see tolerating most of my money going to the emperor and taxes. You know, I kind of would take that badly. But I mean, and the stuff going on like the underworld and stuff is really intriguing. And when you start realizing that a lot of the stuff that was prescribed or taxed to the point where people were paying smugglers to go get it for them for a cheaper price, kind of is interesting. It's almost like what happened when the American Revolution started. It was a tax revolt, right? And I look at all this stuff going on. And you go back and you look at what Biggs Darklighter said in that deleted scene to Luke about what was going on, what the Empire was really doing. It's like this doesn't just have anything with just oppressing minorities and free speech and all this. This is economic. This is an economic war going on. You're taking our living, and building statues to Palpatine. Bullshit, I'm going to revolt, which is what I think I would have been doing, I mean, I don't know, but, I could say a lot, probably just trying to keep a low profile, but yeah, I think the OT era would have been fun. And I don't know, living where, I don't know. It just depends. I mean, what would be a cool place, and I can't think of one right now that's cooler than the other. So
I would like to follow up with. I agree with John Matrixx. I'd like to live in the Clone Wars era, because and I've discussed this before. I'd like to find the gate that Ahsoka found and hops around to all the eras. But one thing I didn't ever answer is what my occupation would be, and I think I'd like to own a cantina. Someplace warm but not too warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would own a cantina, Flipp. You would.
That's a quote from one of the movies. Can you guess which movie that was from? I'd like to own a cantina, someplace warm but not too warm. You know what I mean? Come on, nobody.
Attack of the Clones. Again.
9.
No.
Solo. It's from Solo.
Oh, really?
It's that weird creature that's flying.
Wait, the Solo movie? That doesn't count. That's not one of the movies. That doesn't count.
I haven't seen it.
That's the reaction I was looking for.
That was a trick question.
Yeah, I won't see that movie. I won't. I refuse. It's a disgrace. And a lot of people try to defend it, and it's like it lost $200 million. There's nothing to defend.
That movie's terrible. It destroyed Lando Calrissian.
Why about Han and Chewie, showering together? I mean, growing together with those years and saying, hey, I want to be like Han. And when you see them like, nope, I don't want to be like Han because that's canon now.
Yeah, it's canon until they decanonize it. And I think they might, because Iger said once episode 9, if it's in the can or out, they're going to come back to meet and see where they go from there. And I'll bet you a lot of stuff will be decanonized. I'll bet you a lot.
I hope so.
They, well, you can. I mean, this isn't canon anymore. Okay, it's not. So there you go. And, he wants to leave Disney with a better legacy than what he's got. And trust me, there's more to this than the movies failing, the merchandise failing, the books failing, the comic books failing. They're in deep doo-doo with the park out in California.
Don't you mean poodoo?
Yeah, poodoo. They said they spent, it's $1 billion park, and no, it's not. It's more like a $5 billion park because they had to tear down everything.
$5 billion?
That's the story, that they've dumped $5 billion in it because they built They started building, and California came back and said, no, this is all against code. So they had to tear everything down, reapply for the permits, I think, buy the permits, and go back and restart. So how's that? How's that for a major F up? I mean, so you hear people say, oh, this is going to be great. It's like, you guys don't understand. They're so up to their necks in debt with Lucasfilm. And it's all Kathleen Kennedy's fault. It really is.
Well, talk about Galaxy's Edge. On top of them doing the whole sequel trilogy as their theme, they on their end of the year quarterly report, their fiscal year report was that they're raising prices across the board 8% and charging a premium for alcohol in the Oga's Cantina that's going to be there. First time Disney parks having alcohol, by the way. And Walt Disney's turning over in his grave.
After Solo, I can't blame them. Sorry.
But then in their first quarterly report this year, preliminary report, they're talking about 25% across the board. So only really rich people are going to be able to go. I guess their demographic is dumb white rich people. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's already not cheap to go to Disney anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen.
Especially if you have a family with kids. Oh man, it's going to be really expensive.
Yeah. You can't just go and have fun. Anyway, hey guys, I got to go because I got to go check this pot roast. So that I'm cooking, and I'm looking out the window right now, and but I got to go. But it's been great talking to you. And also my voice is giving out. So I'll be available probably not next Saturday because I'll be in New York City with my sisters. So, but I'll be available anytime. Just let me know. And I had a really good time. Thank you for letting me rant a little bit.
Our pleasure, Steph. We will be asking you to come back, and it was such a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you. It was great to be on here. So, all right, you guys be good, and hey, man, I'll see you around the galaxy.
Stay warm.
Oh yeah, we will. See ya.
Be safe.
Yeah. Cool. So, Matrixx, I've got a couple questions. Let me grab my notepad. Anybody want to chime in?
Oh yeah, John Matrixx. If you could do anything with Kylo Ren to fix his character, what would you want to do?
First off, I would give him the helmet. The helmet should have never came off. He was pretty intimidating with the helmet. So he has to have a helmet in Star Wars Episode 9, and it cannot come off, I guess, until the end of the movie. Because just Adam Driver, he's a really, really good actor. I mean, look at him in Black Klansman. He was very, very good. But the intimidation factor is gone with him. So he has to have the helmet. He has to be wrecking shop in this movie. And also let him beat Rey at the beginning of the movie to establish that he is, a character that is a threat. He doesn't seem to be a threat to anybody anymore.
Yeah, you're completely right. I've never seen him as a threat. Since the very first time I saw his face, I was just like, so this is supposed to be our new Sith? And then they come out, okay, they're not Sith. And I'm like, okay, but he's still not. I don't get dark side when I look at him. I mean, even when he has the helmet on, I'm just like, you're not really Vader to me,
Exactly.
I feel like should have had him earn his helmet. I really feel like he should have earned that helmet because that for me, that's a symbol of him being like the new Darth Vader. And he's nowhere near it. He's still at the crying stages of, oh, I can't get over this. I can't get over that.
Well, guys, listen, Kylo Ren had a lot of potential. Let us be fair. Okay, the thing is, he was someone that was conflicted. And when he took the mask off, we expected to see something like Vader. And what we know of Vader is that he had the mask on not only for intimidation, but he used it actually to make himself, he needed it. It was his life support. So subconsciously, when we all saw Kylo Ren for the first time, we thought, hey, maybe he has, scars too. Maybe he's battle worn. And then when he takes the helmet off, you see that he's this boy, an untouched boy. I mean, his face was porcelain perfect, and you think to yourself, okay, what is his story? Now, if JJ were George Lucas, he would have used that to his advantage to show that despite him having a sweet appearance, the conflict inside him was much bigger, and as a storytelling element, that would work so much as a character, growth element, because he seems untouched, but inside he's conflicted, torn. It's a war zone. It worked, but Ryan Johnson happened, and that went to shit.
Yeah, I wish Snoke said that to him too. You're a porcelain-faced boy.
Yeah, he said you're just a boy in a mask.
Yeah, like, you see what I mean? Like, that mask should have been his trophy at the end of, like, finally reaching the end of his dark side training. Like, that should have been, like, his goal is, I want that mask.
No, not necessarily. Sith Marauders in the Old Republic had similar intimidating masks. It's a dark side thing, so I'm kind of sold on the fact that any dark sider could use a mask. Arkan, Thexan's brother, from the Eternal Twins, had a mask, and he didn't use it only just to cover his injuries, but it was a Sith thing because he had more dark side in him than his brother. Now, another brilliant thing, now that I'm bringing this up, have you guys seen the trailer of the Eternal Twins for the Old Republic? The one is wearing white, but he is dark side, and the other is wearing black, but he is more composed and light side. Now, that is George Lucas to me. That to me is Star Wars. The analogies, the symbolism. JJ and Ryan Johnson don't have that symbolism. They're making a corporate product, just like Thug Life Jeremy pointed out earlier.
Yeah, they're trying to Disney-fy Star Wars. That's pretty much the way it is.
Hey, Angus, were you about to chime in, dude?
I unmuted. I'm settled in my work position. Supervisor's gone. We're all clear.
Any ninjas floating around back there?
No, there's no ninjas today. There's no. Well, I mean, you're not here, so of course not.
I was gonna say, I have not got on plane yet. I will be soon. Fortune cookie saying, "Man who get on plane fly long way," and that's all I know.
To answer that question earlier about what era I'd want to live in, I like to live in the Empire era, and I like to be in association with Jabba's crime syndicate or organization, what have you. Like Boba Fett, etc. His cronies, get to be a fucking Clint Eastwood in that universe, along with the babes fawning over you in the cantina and stuff, the palace. Yeah, I'm all about the interspecial relations of Star Wars, and Jabba's palace is where it's at.
Yeah, do you like the purple elephant that played the keyboard?
Are you talking about Max Rebo?
Yeah, that's it. I always thought Max Rebo was the guy who goes ah,
No. I don't know his name, but honestly, I watched the speaking of that scene, everyone bitches about the like Jedi Rock scene or whatever, where like they edited it with a totally different song and the CGI characters. I love them. Watching the original, I'm like, oh wow, that was definitely an improvement, and it felt fun. It really ramped up the environment for me. That's just a side note.
I actually have I sent off a little while back, about 10 years ago. I sent off for a special Ula and Salacious Crumb action figure set. You had to have 10 UPC symbols plus $12.99 shipping and handling. It's amazing how much a piece of plastic is to ship. But it's the girl that dances, the green skin.
Yeah, I know Ula.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I'll present it sometime, not right now, but so if you're thinking interspecies, you're going more with her and less Max Rebo.
Well, I mean, the Max Rebo species. I mean, I would always be open to try, everything in that universe at least once.
All right, calm down, Star-Lord.
I mean, like everyone's all about the Twi'leks, and yeah, Twi'leks are great, but my fantasy species of Star Wars is the Kaminoans on Kamino, the cloners. Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
what
I like
could you
them.
do with that neck? Oh my goodness.
Exactly. You know what they could do with that? You know, just like the angular, like the very feline body. It's hot. And they got those
So glad you
huge
came on.
eyes. So it'd be like the Emma Stone of Star Wars.
Oh wow! I know you're not just saying Emma Stone.
I
That's an
love
easy
big,
A.
beautiful eyes.
Rand, what about you? What era would you live in?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Probably Empire. Yeah, I would love having. I would love being a part of the underworld. I would mainly screw over a lot of people. I would be like a gray Jedi. I'd mainly rob the Empire, give some to the Resistance, and then maybe give some to Homeworlds, and have like my own little shack somewhere where I just sit there and think about what the hell I'm really doing with my life and if I actually should get into the fight or not, and then fall asleep. Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Works.
If you guys
What
could
about-
get trained by any Sith, who would you want to get trained by?
Oh, that's
an
an
interesting one.
that's an easy one for me. Darth Sidious, best character in all of Star Wars, the most
I'm gonna-
powerful one.
I'm gonna one up you, John. I'd say Plagueis.
I thought about Plagueis. Because he trained Sidious, but
I'm gonna go with Star Killer.
Ooh, Star Killer.
But the best thing is if he died, and I can go ask Star Killer number 2, and then Star Killer number 3, and then Star Killer number 4.
What about you, Angus?
Oh, Asajj Ventress.
Oh wow.
We know.
He looked for
You know
special
why?
training.
You know why?
I was about to say you're not getting actually dark side training. You're gonna learn how to keep your stamina up a completely different way.
No, I'll be getting some backside training.
Now, you stole it. I was gonna say that.
well, let me ask you this here. Last time we saw Asajj Ventress, she wasn't technically on the dark side in the Clone Wars. She
That's
was
true.
actually helping Ahsoka, so maybe she went straight.
Well, to clarify, I don't know if you've read any of the books, because Star Wars, Disney really sucks, but I want to say it's the same author that did that freaking Leia story that has a bunch of SJW stuff.
Claudia
I'm not
Gray?
certain.
Yeah,
I think it was. I'm not sure, but
Bloodline.
the book I read was a continuation of like 4 episodes from Clone Wars when they canceled season 6. And spoiler alert, unfortunately, as far as the canon goes that I know, unless they retcon it, she dies in the universe because she comes back and after like her kind of going away in the show. But there's this whole plot that's kind of cool where the Jedi get this idea that Obi-Wan isn't comfortable with, where they pick a Jedi to like team up with her to try to train and kill Dooku. Because it's like, man, we've tried all of our stuff, it's not working. Wait, fuck.
No, you're right.
Sorry, I had to go. They're like, our stuff isn't working. Look, maybe we should try to fight fire with fire, and the Jedi ends up falling in love with Asajj. But she kind of dies tragically. I don't know. It's an interesting story.
What was his name? He's the guy with the
Quinlan
yellow
Voss.
stripe across his eyes.
Voss, I think it's Voss.
Quinlan Voss.
Voss, that's right.
Yeah,
Voss.
Quinlan Voss. He had the green lightsaber. Yeah, he had that little thing over his nose. Yeah, he was cool.
Whoever wants, I can actually build his lightsaber. I actually have a blueprint for it.
Nice.
That's cool.
He had this cool force power, right, where he could like somewhat see,
Like
breathe,
tracking.
bend, like touching a odd. Yeah, he was like a tracking. Yeah. I liked him. I thought he was cool. I wish we got to see more of him in the Clone Wars. We got like 1 or 2 episodes with him, and then that was it.
Because they have the last final season coming up. I wonder if they're going to cover that maybe just a little.
Hey, guys, I made a tweet on season 7. Do you guys think that knowing Dave Filoni loves tying in the prequels with the original trilogy in such a very tasteful way. Do you think that Echo could be the reason why they name it Echo based on Hoth? I mean, he could go with that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be.
Or Trooper Echo. You know, he survives. It is confirmed in the season 7 draft before it got scrapped in 2014. And I really want to see what Echo has to do. I've seen the unfinished episodes of season 7, and despite the unfinished picture, it didn't distract from the story, and I really, really loved what they did with it. And guys, you should check it out. It is so worth your time. I mean, this is what goes without saying, that you could have a very good-looking movie like The Last Jedi, and the narrative can be shitty, and you can't stand to watch it. And you could have this like half-finished CGI project with the voice acting all complete, but the rendering not, and the story being so compelling that it still gets you invested to see it.
Well, that would make sense. Dave Filoni's like that. I mean, that's a possibility. Echo 3 to Echo Base. Han, old buddy, can you read me?
But like Jeremy said, that he would want to get trained by Dooku because he was trained by Yoda and Sidious, so you get the best of both worlds.
Well, I wouldn't say that he got trained by Sidious that much, but yeah, it does count.
Yeah, honestly, Sidious wasn't really big on training people. He gave you like basic knowledge and skills. I mean, I'm surprised Dooku even knew about Force lightning.
Yeah.
I think it, and this is just my brain working, but I think when he got Count Dooku to come with him or whatever, the Count was probably, well, like Qui-Gon alludes to in comic books and the Clone Wars even, you know, he didn't see things the way the Council did. He kind of followed his own path. So I get why he kind of got pulled in that gray Jedi direction and then straight to, you know, Sith apprentice. And what was his Sith name? His Lord
Tyrannus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. Yeah. So I think that you know, he didn't have the dexterity that Maul had, and he didn't have the, you know, I guess just dexterity. And
some argue that he was much more skilled than Maul when it came to combat, because, you know, he was a master of Form 2 Makashi, and Makashi is the most.
Well, I think he wanted to give him lightning, possibly so that he would be able to complement his form, like you're saying.
Yeah, well, he sucked against blaster wielding foes, but, you know, lightning was a great way to compensate for that. But Maul
I mean,
sorry,
go ahead.
Brandon.
Oh, I was gonna say, Makashi was the best form for lightsaber battling, but it didn't build up any momentum or have any power strikes. So if you knew how to counteract that, you could
Like
beat Dooku very.
Gemso was a form like that. Gemso was a very slow to build, and once you were experienced enough or gained enough momentum, you could actually break down your opponent no matter what style he used, with the exception of Sarisu. Sarisu, well, is meant to be to make you like last in battle. It's like the lightsaber equivalent of Viagra, man. This thing could make you last for hours.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi was called the Master of Soriso.
True.
Yeah.
And Vader even had to implement it in his style later, because he had to be in the defensive.
Yeah, his control box. He had to be able to protect that. Yeah.
Form 2, known as Makashi, was the second form of lightsaber combat invented by the Jedi Order, a graceful combat style. It became a specialist form for duels with opponents belonging to the Sith Order. Pretty cool.
Yeah. First one, Chicho, which, Kick Fisto, for example. Very basic, but very, very essential as well. 2 is Makashi, 3 is Sarisu, 4 is, of course, Ataru. Ataru is very dangerous. 5 is Gemso. And 6, I guess, is Yuyo. Or is it Vapad? I'm actually getting mixed up after Gemso.
Well, no, you missed one, Niman.
Yeah, Niman. Thank you so much. I keep on forgetting Niman because there's no master that is the staple of Niman, at least to my knowledge. I'm just.
I I could have sworn it was the one of the battle masters or something like that. That was usually at the Jedi Academy. He was a master of Niman. Something. Oh, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Hey, John Matrixx.
Yes, sir.
Did you watch Rebels?
Yes, I did.
What's your opinion?
Go ahead. What was the question?
Oh no, someone asked what's your opinion on it. I was going to ask you. Well, it's kind of a two-sided question. Have you read the first Aftermath book that old Cucky Wendig wrote before he really showed his hand on Twitter?
No, I'm not a fan of Chuck Wendig. I won't read any of that stuff. So
no, I don't blame you. So,
I heard it was bad anyway.
Well, leading into Force Awakens, I wasn't aware of SJW culture or any of that. I was barely aware of like feminism as a buzzword or diversity in this crap. And so I fell for the journey to the Force Awakens. I read the 4-part Shattered Empire lead into the Force Awakens, where it's like Luke and Poe Dameron's mom. And I got the Aftermath book. So Aftermath is why I guess that Rey's parents were no one that we knew. I didn't think it would be so underwhelming. But beside the point. But there's a couple interesting things, at least from the story group that's in the story, where there's like this cult, these like Sith acolytes or something. They're not even Sith, I don't think, but they're worship the Sith or some shit. And they're trying to find Vader's lightsaber because they want to destroy it so it can like be with them in the afterlife or something. It's this cool kind of like a cult idea of the Sith. And I was thinking that maybe they're going to be the Inquisitors, or maybe the Inquisitors fizzled out and like it became a cult like this, and then they formed the Knights of Ren. There's so much potential with that, and I was just wondering what your thoughts with the Inquisitors were, especially the first one, the Grand Inquisitor. Yeah,
I
just
think
go from there. Whatever you think.
The Grand Inquisitor was really good. They actually should have kept him alive throughout until the end, because the what is the fifth brother and the fifth sister or
Seventh
something
sister.
like that? Yeah, they were bumbling fools. They weren't even good. They were easily defeated by Ahsoka. And Ahsoka, I love Ahsoka. She is so great. The Grand Inquisitor was about as close to a Sith as you would get, but the other two, they were worthless, really.
Yeah. Do you know who the voice actor was for the Grand Inquisitor?
I don't know.
If you ever seen Mel Gibson's The Patriot, it's like the main British villain that like killed his son, Heath Ledger.
No way.
Yeah, that's the voice.
Dude, I love that movie. So as soon as you said that, I was like, oh shit. That's crazy.
I actually haven't seen The Patriot, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh wow, dude, it's a great movie.
You'd love it.
Yeah, that is a great movie. Yeah. Sad, because like Angus spoiled, Mel Gibson's son gets killed, but it is mwah.
That's interesting because I love Mel Gibson movies. Have you seen Payback? I love that movie.
No, I haven't seen that. I have to check that out.
Came out like 1999.
John, what was that? What was the name?
Payback. It came out like in 1999, I believe it came out.
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty good.
That's a really good movie.
I like having these conversations. I end up writing down all these things that I'm going to watch and read and such. And then I get off here and like I get in a whirlwind of other stuff. But I've got a
yeah, man.
Okay. Hey,
all right. So go ahead, Flipp.
Okay. So I was watching some of Matrixx videos, and by the way, this is for everyone. I just want to let you know, I have the craziest time trying to fit in a comment on people's videos because I like to watch the whole thing. So if I do comment, rest assured I did watch it. But I'm also posting a lot of videos and trying to do my own stuff, so please do bear with me. But I did watch some of your stuff, and you were talking about the boycott and how we need to make Star Wars great again, and also Indiana Jones 5. And I was hoping you could elaborate on that.
quick interruption. I really need to chow down. I'll be back in like a few minutes, like 5 or 10 minutes tops. You guys just carry on, discussing what you are talking about, and I'll be back with you guys soon.
Okay.
We've got you covered, General.
Thanks, guys.
And
All
on the
right,
505.
Go ahead. Okay, so the streaming service, I think you were talking about that too, but the boycott, making Star Wars great again, and Indiana Jones 5, other than my Vader fan film theory videos, my indie stuff gets super big views. So I was curious of what your thoughts are regarding the boycott, making Star Wars great again, and Indiana Jones 5. John.
Well, as far as Indiana Jones 5, we really haven't heard anything except that John Caston is going to be writing a script, which is horrible because that's the guy that wrote the script for Solo, and he put all this SJW stuff in it. So my fear is that we could actually get a woke Indiana Jones movie, which I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see at all. How far in the future are they going to go from Crystal Skull? Because I believe Crystal Skull took place in the 1957. Okay. So I'm assuming they'll probably go towards maybe 1970s during the space race. So I think that would kind of fit around Harrison Ford's age right there. But I don't want John Caston anywhere near Indiana Jones because
Dude,
I already know he's going to ruin it. Some kind of way. He's going to put some SJW stuff in it.
You just gave me an idea because of like the timer. It's like, okay, Crystal Skull was about 10 years ago. So, or let's say it's 12 or 13 after production and once they release it. They're going to that'd be great. They put it in like the 60s and Harrison Ford becomes a free love, anti-Vietnam hippie. I think that'd go over quite well with the fandom.
Yeah. And no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no.
You were asking about the boycott too.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if things stayed the same the way they were with Star Wars Theory, if they just kept the copyright claim, people would really have to think about taking a major stand against Disney, not just Lucasfilm, not just Star Wars. You would really have to make a decision on whether you were going to watch anything Disney, because the only thing that Disney cares about is money. And if there's no money coming in, that's the only way that things would change. Now, I'm not saying that anybody should boycott, but really that's the only way that Disney would get a message across if like Avengers Endgame is not making money. And of course, Episode 9. So that would be a major wake-up call for Disney if that was to happen.
So it really kind of falls on Lucasfilm in their minds right now. Like, well, it's really just that company because obviously Marvel is doing great. So they're not looking at it as a whole company like the umbrella company of Disney. It's all their subsidiaries like obviously Lucasfilm. Now, I agree because if Lucasfilm puts out an indie movie and it sucks and it's SJW, then I think you're right. It would cause more of a larger stir. Yeah. Anybody else thoughts?
Well, I'll let Rant go if he wants.
Hey guys, I'll be right back in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Jedi Rider Gamer said Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost SJW Temple, and that's what it would be.
Dude, he wouldn't grab anything because he would just quit archaeology because it's cultural appropriation.
And he's being racist and misogynist for even trying.
He'd be like, oh, I should step aside and let a woman do this or let a person of color claim this archaeological dig.
Like a giant drill. She'll have a giant drill or something.
I actually read it's that he might have his daughter in it instead of a different son. And I also heard that it's going to be based on time travel, too.
No!
Oh, no. Why time travel? Why do we need time travel? We don't need time travel. No time travel.
From what I understand, they want to do time travel because they want to bring the Nazis back.
No.
I know. Right?
No.
I don't think you need them. I like the space race idea.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I literally just like not even a week ago finally watched Indy 3 and 4, and I'm like, this is the same problem that Daniel Craig has with James Bond. It's like, what the fuck else do we do? You know, like you just had aliens in Indiana Jones. You know, in Temple of Doom, yeah, you had like the crazy occult shit that apparently was real. You had the uh, the Holy Grail and its magic. And then you go to Aliens. It's like, wow, you know, like I don't see where you can go with Indiana Jones after you ramp it up that high of a bar of like fantasy.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
think if they did go a time travel arc, the way I heard this was actually it's a continuation of the previous Indiana Jones and the Crystal Cock, and it's basically about aliens still, and then traveling through dimensions, really more than time. So I guess it's a way for them to bring back all the old characters or bad guys or whatever. Maybe undo all that was done, like the chalice, the cup of Christ, and you know how it destroyed that whole temple or whatever. By the way, an actual real temple, that place in the caverns, the crescent caverns of the crescent moon or whatever. Really cool like
Yeah, I
that. But
always thought that
that's
the
just
location was real and that they just made a set for like the interior.
yeah, that's what they did. I've seen the interior of that place because I watch a lot of weird pyramid stuff on TV or YouTube and alien stuff, and it's nothing but a sort of a box room. But what's really odd about it, it was built for people that were twice or three times our height, and it was built like 10,000 years ago when no one would have ever been able to chisel or laser cut rock like that. It's pretty cool stuff.
Huh.
All right, I'm back, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was
Oh,
good.
hey,
So, yeah. Sorry.
John, I was gonna say about the boycott. In my video, I laid out. I was like, yeah, you know, it's nice that they did this, but here's all these reasons, minor and major, from Disney as a whole, but mainly Star Wars, of why you should boycott Episode 9. You know, like my view, I'm kind of the Alex Jones of the group. I like conspiracy theories, and I think the worst of people, especially with money like Disney. And my view is, yeah, their bottom line is money, and they're going to go with that. You know, like right now it's convenient to be woke and have like outright gay Gaston or no LeFou in Beauty and the Beast, when like 50 years ago it was fine to have like racist crows and Dumbo and the Indians and Peter Pan. But on top of that, um, I think that this is all orchestrated because Warner Chappell, even if it's owned by Warner Brothers outright or what have you, and it's just like a licensing thing with music for Disney, like third party, um, seeing the great reception that the Vader film had over like Resistance, and more views and stuff, and just pretty good, general consensus. I think Hollywood is scared. I think this could be a Comicsgate type of event in entertainment where someone proves that, like, hey, I can make a better indie film with an IP than you can. Just think what I could do if I didn't have Disney holding me back with the universe that I create. And I could crowdfund it and people see what I can do. Let's do something bigger. I think Disney and Warner Brothers or whatever, they're like, hey, we're enemies, but this is a common enemy. We don't want the rabble, we don't want the horde on YouTube to be able to compete with us, because then it's like, who's going to go to the theater? Who's going to pay for streaming? So like this could be like people will forget it, but it'd be like a Frank Cho thing with art where everyone shit on him with Wonder Woman, and then that kind of kicked off like Comicsgate with this whole culture war in comics. I think it's somewhat the same, but a different avenue of approach with Star Wars series. What are your thoughts on that?
Will it kick off kind of like a Comicsgate thing? It probably, I guess technically it already kind of has, I mean, I don't know a whole bunch about Comicsgate too much. But I think already in our own community here on YouTube that something similar has pretty much already started. People have already been revolting against Disney and Lucasfilm. They've already seen how woke the movies have been. And I don't really understand why Lucasfilm, Disney overall, why are they gearing towards SJWs? SJWs are a very, very small minority when it comes to movies. And SJWs don't like Star Wars anyway. So why? I don't understand that. They know the demographics, and I'm willing to bet the SJWs that watch Star Wars are probably about 8 to 10% at most. But they want to pamper to those people. I don't get it.
You know what? I also, in one of the videos I did, I haven't done an indie video in well over 6 weeks, but I had learned a really cool bit of information. So basically what I did was I resubmitted all the same information that we already know. But the cool piece of information I heard is there was some sort of, and this is also the mistake with Star Wars. They kicked George Lucas out of the meeting. They were like, "You're not going to be in this. Sorry, you need to leave." I think it's a mistake.
And that's really bad. That's a big mistake.
Then they fired the other writer. Gosh, I can't remember his name, but he did writing with
Michael Arndt. That's who it is.
Oh yeah, he was going to be one of the writers. There was another one too, but you're right, Michael.
Michael Arndt was writing the George Lucas original script for 7, 8, and 9, and that's what George Lucas turned over to Disney. And that's what Disney said, all right, nope, we want to do something for the quote unquote fans. And that's how you got the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
And I'm sure Michael Arndt.
When you said doing it for the fans, all I can imagine was like your voice getting all demonic. We're doing it for the fans. Go ahead, Flipp. I'm sorry.
No, we're doing it for the fans. Okay. Don't hurt me. Yeah, I agree. I know Arndt was connected with everything Lucas wanted to do, especially with 7, 8, and 9. I read that. I remember in October of 2011 when it went October 31st. It was Halloween that they broadcasted on the radio, and they were like, "It turns out there is going to be an episode 7." Blah blah blah. Lucas just sold his, IP to Disney. A day that will go down in infamy, but it's too bad. I think not Michael Arndt, but John Kasdan is going to wreck Indy, absolutely wreck it. And I'm hoping that they reconsider, but God, man, I don't know. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Indy 5. And also while you were gone, I was discussing how they're talking about incorporating time travel in that. What do you think?
First off, I did like the time travel element in Rebels. I think it works in Rebels. That's perfectly fine. But in a saga movie, I don't want to see that. It's going to come off and look like a cheap trick to, say, hey, we messed up in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. We're going to make it right now. So now we're going to have time travel. No, I don't want to see time travel in the saga movies. I don't think it's going to work. So how far back are they going to go in time travel? Are they going to go? I mean, if that's the case, you might as well just go back all the way to, Plagueis and Palpatine, and just try to assassinate Plagueis, go all the way back to the beginning. Or they can go back to, to Luke right before he's about to assassinate Kylo Ren and say, hey, you don't want to do that because now you're going to turn him into Kylo Ren. It'll just mess things up even more to me.
Dude, I think
they got to go with what they have right now.
You know what? You said this idea of like going all the way back to the origin of the saga. Dude, the way to subvert everyone's expectations would be like a cool twist, and someone you could cast back into the show, and they wouldn't have that much age on them. Freaking have them kill Qui-Gon Jinn and be like, it's because of Qui-Gon and his defiance of the Jedi. order and this and that. He's the one who found Anakin. He's the one who, if he would have lived, he would have followed Dooku and drugged more Jedi to the dark side. He's the problem. Even though like he's in Clone Wars and he's transcended into the Force as a ghost, he is the problem child. Along with Jar Jar, you could say, because of the intent Lucas had with Jar Jar, but you can forget that if you want. It's all with Qui-Gon, and that'd be a cool way to be like, holy fuck! I never thought they'd go back to the prequels and kill fucking Qui-Gon and reset everything.
I bet yet try to go back and make Qui-Gon live, because Qui-Gon he didn't hold to the beliefs of the Jedi Council, but Obi-Wan more or less did. So Qui-Gon definitely would have been a better master for Anakin, and Anakin probably wouldn't have fallen to the dark side if Qui-Gon lived.
Or you could go back to when Boss Nass make Jar Jar Binks Bomba General. if he's not the Bomba General, then he doesn't have to be like, Misa Bolton, emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor. So when the Chancellor can't get emergency powers, then they're screwed.
Yeah, but time travel is going to open up a bunch of things, because that time everybody knows that Palpatine is the Sith Lord. So if you go back and try to, kill Qui-Gon, hey, we're already here. We might as well just go and kill Palpatine, because he's the true, puppet master, while everything kind of went to hell. So time travel episode 9, just forget about it. It's just going to mess things up more. Actually, one more point here. You give Disney too many ideas, and going back and changing the past, it'll wipe out the original trilogy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you said kill Palpatine, I'm all like, wait, the original trilogy will be gone, and then we'll be getting even more crap. They will give us a whole different, new original trilogy, and we'll see friggin', I don't even know who, but skipping through a field of flowers as they use the Force to like push them slightly.
Yep.
Actually, Matrixx. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, time travel is it's problematic. It's like people are like, oh, let's go time travel and kill Hitler. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you like kill the person who started World War I, because Hitler was a product of World War I. That's how he went crazy. Or, it's like always a problem. It's like, well, where do you draw the line? Like, when would you, if you're going to like kill someone, like what's behind them? What's behind them? So then it adds a whole problem of like, well, if you had this insight and ability, why wouldn't you go back to the original split of the Jedi and the Sith and kill that schism? Then you would just render everything pointless. And so time travel is just a horrible idea. I don't want freaking Doctor Who type shit coming into Star Wars, because everyone loves Doctor Who, but Doctor Who is like some quirky British bullshit that it doesn't work for me. Doesn't need to be in Star Wars.
But also, this is another thing about the time travel per se. If you look at Worlds Between Worlds and Rebels, this is what I think of that. I think everything was going to happen no matter what. So Ezra saving Ahsoka was going to happen no matter what. It's not necessarily time traveling and reversing the past. It is just the way it is. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Eastern philosophy idea. I like that. Go on, Flipp.
Well, I hate to say this, but what I was talking about with time travel was actually Indiana Jones 5. But it still would suck, I think, putting it in the Saga movie, because basically it worked in Rebels, but to put it in the Saga movie, you're right, it would come off like a cheap trick.
Yeah, the only place I like to see time travel is the Flash, and that's because he realizes that you can't time travel because there's consequences for that shit. That's the only time I like hearing about time travel is in that TV show The Flash. That's it.
Oh yeah, and the only people that should be time traveling is Marty McFly and Doc Brown. That's it. Nobody else.
And Deadpool.
And Deadpool.
Deadpool, of course.
Yeah, we need Deadpool in every era. We need Deadpool everywhere. That would be so funny to see. Oh, we've reached the Americas. Yeah, it's called America, asshole. I can see that.
Hey, Matrixx. Also, in one of your other videos, you feel like Disney wants to promote Rey heavily, and
Yep.
that Kylo Ren should die at the end. That's sort of your prediction.
That's what I think will happen. Because the reason why is they pretty much have wanted to kill off the Skywalkers from the beginning. If you look at The Force Awakens, they want to push all the original characters back to the side. They've already killed off Han Solo. Carrie Fisher's already deceased, so there'll be no more Leia. Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker is dead now. So the only person you have left now is Ben Solo. And he's a Skywalker. So, and they're promoting this as like the final Skywalker movie. So if you let him live, then people are going to be wondering, all right, he's a Skywalker. Where is he at now? That it's just opening up more Skywalker movies then. So that's why I think he's going to get killed off by Rey. Rey is not going to die. She's already beaten him like twice already in the sequel trilogy. So why would she lose now? In the end, when it's a year later, she's even more powerful now. So why would she lose to him? It makes no sense.
Well, actually, it would. Conspiracy theory. She could be a martyr for them, for Disney themselves. They could even put it in there that, like, not in the movie, but, you know, they'll put it out there. Well, the fans hated her so much, they called her Mary Sue.
Well, if that's the case, they might as well kill her off at the beginning of the movie and let Luke take over the rest of the movie. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'll be like Holdo. She'll just I'll hope we'll see Moss again, and you got like Kylo just pressing down on like the 5 people left in the Resistance and the Falcon, and she like jumps out. She has a force shield against the vacuum of space, and she hyperdrives herself through all of the ships.
Oh, don't want to see any more Holdo.
I have a question for you guys. Now, it's kind of in poor taste to ask, but Carrie Fisher's passing, doesn't it kind of feel like it's Disney's fault? Like, whenever you go to say they killed off Han, you almost go to say they killed off Leia at the same time, right?
I don't know, because I think Leia's gonna live in Episode 9.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I read. Sorry, go ahead, Angus.
No, it wasn't me.
I don't think Disney has the guts to kill her off, and that's going to be a lot of backlash if they do that, considering Carrie Fisher's already dead.
Yeah, apparently her and one of the other, I can't remember. It's her and Rose or whatever is at their. They have a big temple now, similar to Yavin 4, and apparently Leia will be there trying to spread the word that that the First Order needs to be taken down. She'll be. Sort of being like a head cheese over there. So how they do that, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. She's supposed to be alive in it.
Dude, it is so distasteful. Like, okay, I really hate Leia. Like, I realize that she's a great female empowerment character from the 70s and this and that. It's really only for one movie. And she declines and just becomes like Han's chick towards the end of the original trilogy. Despite her being a general, she always felt like the damsel in distress afterwards. I really feel like the way people stereotype Captain America as a goody two-shoe like Boy Scout, that is Leia's character. She has this good guy resolve regardless of like any insight into like the bad guys or whatever. It's very black and white the way they started her off. But even me hating Leia, along with being a Darksider, I just found it very distasteful when I saw Last Jedi. I'm like, what? Like, she's actually dead, and you could have edited this whole movie around that with the way you've already filmed her. It's like, this is, you have the beautiful music, you have it quiet, she's in space, it's kind of peaceful despite and the fact that her son didn't want to either, that he kind of held back, and it was just an accident from the First Order. And it's like, oh, like this is it's a beautiful way to send her off, and then it's like, oh fuck, Mary Poppins, and it's like you kept her alive and you did nothing with her regardless of keeping her alive, and like, what? It was just, I grew up watching the show Dallas, the '80s show, the soap opera with my parents because they collected the DVDs, and the like patriarch of the family, the main family in the show, the actor actually died, and they made that a whole point in the show where his character dies tragically, and it like is a new obstacle for the family going forward. And it's like they did that really well. And it's like you go 40 years later and they fuck it up in modern day with Leia. It's so weird.
It would have been a classy way to send her off. Go ahead, Rant.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. I said it would have been a classy way to send her off. You're right, because she passed away that December, the December before it came out. So whatever that was, 2016, right? 17?
Yeah, that's right. 16.
Yeah, okay. And they actually had, I don't remember if you guys remember, but YouTubers kept putting out updates. I know Collider was every 5 seconds. Oh, well, they're having a meeting to see what they're going to do. And now let's talk about our own show for a half hour. Then they would, a couple days later, now they're having a new meeting where they are going to have her, but they're going to have her, they're not going to use CGI or whatever. And, then finally they're like, no, we're going to actually have her in the movie just the way it was. Well, just the way it was. And I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. I could deal with the way Force Awakens went and see if they can fix everything in this next movie. You're right. It would have been such a classy way to go back, re-edit it to where she's, because it was a perfect spot. She ended up being in the only scene they would have had to reshoot is that stupid scene where Leia bursts in the door and stuns Poe.
Yeah, well, that was afterwards. So you wouldn't have even had that storyline.
I hate that scene. That scene is terrible.
It was dumb. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like Leia should be doing a lot more, but with her passing, they couldn't. So yeah, they should have just sent her off the beautiful way they could have instead of her, Supermaning back to the ship.
Yeah, like just think how cool that could have been for Kylo's storyline, where he has that like split. That's why he's not like focused against Rey after he kills Han, and then you have Leia, and you could have film just like go berserk like Starkiller, and that could lead into a confrontation with Snoke, and then you could see him like maybe get bitch slapped, or maybe that rage starts to like make Snoke scared, and so you could have had so many cool angles with that. You could have had Rey kind of being pulled by both of them, like, hey, no, fight with me and kill this pussy, and Snoke's, Kylo's like, hey, no, like join me, he's a weird old pervert, he looks like Hugh Hefner, fuck him, like they could have gone so many angles and kept like an SJW element like they wanted, which so weird that you're trying to attack Hugh Hefner. He is a legend in civil rights, both racial and with women and art. So it's weird that they like were so proud, like, yeah, we modeled Snoke off of Hugh Hefner. It's like, man, you are so oblivious to what he's done for art, but whatever.
I mean, if Kylo really wanted to get Rey, he could have just lifted up his shirt again, Hey,
Rey, I don't know if
you like this, baby.
Hey, Rey, I don't know if you noticed, but I did like 1,000. You got to check out your pull quecks and your collect quecks and yeah, it's tough, but I do it. That's a little wrong,
the way he talks,
really bad.
the way he talks in that scene where it's like, "Let the past die, kill it if you have to." Like he, like as good as an actor as he is, despite the shitty direction, that one scene in his dialogue, it's so like dull. You could totally like edit and put Napoleon Dynamite in that scene over with like his soundbite, and you would buy it. Like you would think it was Napoleon Dynamite talking. You're like, yeah, I just drew a liger, dude.
Yeah, as soon as he said Napoleon Dynamite, I was like, oh shit, no, he didn't.
Now I'm going to have to do a video with that. Somebody needs to.
Come on, guys. Damn.
Freaking tater tots.
Ray kicks his ass and he's like, oh.
And then slaps her face and runs away.
Oh my god, I'm going to edit that. You know where she like kicks him in Force Awakens? I'm like edit that and then like cut to like Napoleon Dynamite. Like, you kicked my freaking tater tots, dude. Like, God.
And then who was his friend? Pedro or something like that?
Yeah.
Really low and stuff. Have him in there somewhere. Oh man, that'd be funny. That'd be so funny.
And then a steak comes flying from nowhere and hits him in the head. Like what? Angus,
yeah.
That's a good spot for you, man. Steak man.
Yeah. God, Tita, eat your ham.
Oh man.
Rant.
So,
I haven't. Oh no, I was just gonna say. I was gonna ask Rant what he's been up to. I haven't seen really anything on his channel as of late. I haven't seen any updates on my YouTube feed.
Oh, I just put out a Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean, no, wow, Homecoming, Far From Home reaction. Well, I can't remember what I did last. I mean, before that, I think I did a stream. I mean, I've got some videos up.
Okay,
I've been keeping busy with that. Yeah.
Hey, Angus.
Yeah.
Just check. I posted it on the Collective. I mean, I think within the last 12 hours here. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, well, you might be interested then. I'm actually working on a Spider-Man video. I shared the thumbnail I made for it. It's still in the works. Got to edit the imagery, but it's going to be great. I got a really funny intro. Ethan Van Sciver really inspires me with his intro. So depending on the topics, I love to like edit things that are specific, like I did with the car for my Bumblebee article. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this intro. I hope y'all like it. Hopefully, it'll be up probably around midnight or 2 a.m. tonight.
Oh yeah, man.
I'll try to stay up to watch it. Hell yeah.
So, hey, John Matrixx.
Yes, sir.
Is the threat of boycott still on? Should we consider this? After they extended an olive branch, should we consider the boycott, or what do you think the overall feeling is in the fandom right now? Continue to boycott, begin a boycott, don't boycott?
To me, this is the way I see it. You do what you want to do. I mean, I'm not calling for a boycott. If you want to go see the movie, you see the movie. But there's definitely been some people that's actually called for a boycott. A few people have backed off of it now since the whole Star Wars theory thing has been resolved now. But I still think there is some damage from that. And it's only adding to the other damage that's been going on now. So eventually we have all the way till December. I'm pretty sure Lucasfilm and Disney, they're going to do something pretty stupid again. And they're just going to shoot themselves in the foot. Plus we do have the trailers coming out too. So if the trailers don't wow anybody, then, but I think they're going to do it to themselves. Boycott or not, Episode 9 is not making $1 billion. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I called for a boycott. Like I would definitely urge people not to go see Episode 9. I can't anymore. Like it's even hard for me to want to see any Disney stuff anymore too. Like I want to see Far From Home, but like after this, it's like, should I even really support Disney still? Because they're assholes. Like we all know this. They care about money. I mean, and it's just terrible because what they're doing with Star Wars, we all know it. So yeah. I'm definitely boycotting Episode 9, and I urge everyone to not go just because. I mean, if you want to be able to review it, I guess. But yeah.
See, I am pro boycott. I have been pro boycott from day one. Even though I think I've been fairly fair to the sequel trilogy and some of my critiques that other people won't look sideways at. Some of my analysis. So I'm like, I actually give Johnson some credit for some of his ideas that just did not pan out well as far as being developed for the series to try to expand it. I really think Star Wars is in a box as far as what you can make. It's not Star Trek. You can't be inventive with it. There's a formula. It's a little more complex than say Marvel, but there's a formula you have to stick to be successful. Rogue One is probably the most you can deviate from the formula where it's like, yeah, there's not really a lightsaber fight, but there, we'll throw in Vader, but like it really wasn't about Sith or Jedi. It was about like real world people in the universe. That's as far as you can get away from the Star Wars formula. But even if you don't want to boycott, I urge you to a middle ground that is to hold off for a week, wait for word of mouth from channels you trust, and then you might still not want to go to it, so you'll end up being a boycotter just from what you know about it.
Yeah, don't take Collider's review serious.
Yeah, they're pro Disney. They turn pro Disney just so they can, I swear they're trying to get endorsed by Disney or something.
They actually are, from what I understand, they're actually sort of contracted with them under some reason.
What the hell?
I can't remember.
How is that possible?
Check the sources, check my sources, but that's what I heard.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why you should never trust. That's why you should never trust like Grace Randolph or Kevin Smith with DC, because they have ties to it and they're a little bit too favoritistic to those franchises. So you can't get like an unbiased opinion. Or like me, like I don't know, like there needs to be crap. There needs to be a sense of integrity with criticism that is, you're seeing it with Rotten Tomatoes, where it's becoming like, the movie sucks, but it's got a message, or they cast enough diversity, so we're going to give it a good rating. People like bullshitters and geeks and gamers. That's why they're on the rise, because they have a stance, but they'll be fair in their criticism.
Yeah. I just I really wish that things didn't go the way they did. I wish that they controlled Rian Johnson when The Last Jedi came out. Like, I don't understand why they did not control him whatsoever. Like, they just let him loose like a mad dog. I really feel like if they had him apologize, things would be somewhat smoother with episode 9, but now that, we're here, like, well, we've been here for quite some time, it really feels like, they just don't care at all. And then they want to pull this with Star Wars Theory, and then it's like, oh, no, we'll jump in and act like we're heroes. You're not heroes. I mean, you killed our heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. I'm sorry. I was trying to look up where I'd seen that Collider was connected to them. But if you guys can find that, I mean, please do, and let me know. Remind me where I found it if you find it. But what really is kind of more like common sense and obvious, even if I can't prove it. They have the breaking story first every time, like every time. And then let's not forget the Denny's debacle. I don't know if you guys remember seeing that, where Collider went to Denny's and was chilling freaking episode 8 like all day with this special collector's cup when you buy a special Denny's meal. Did you guys see that?
No,
I didn't see it.
Yeah, the trading cards. EVS bought a whole fuck ton of those trading cards.
Did he? That sounds.
He had like 10 Therm scissor punches.
Oh, Therm scissor punch that month. That's the guy I was trying to remember the other night, bro. Therm scissor punch. God, what a name.
I mean, it's so weird. When I was a kid, for episode 1, I was so excited. Dude, they had like these, like KFC had toys. I don't remember KFC ever having toys, but for Star Wars they did, and it was like them, Taco Bell, I think Pizza Hut, like the Yum brand, and it was exciting. Like they had these cool globes for like each planet, and they had like a scene like a pod race. It had the fight on Naboo with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. There's a couple others. There's so much cool promotions for episode 1. Like, I don't know. I feel like it would make sense if they did IHOP. IHOP's a little bit more classy than Denny's. Denny's is kind of like a truck stop, trashy chain. And yeah, Burger King and KFC and stuff, they're still, they're fast food, but they're well established across the country. Denny's is kind of like, you might find them at a hotel. Like, it's hard to find a Denny's. So it's weird that it shows you the standards they had that they would market through Denny's for Solo. It's like they have no hope. This is like a lowest bid type of thing, like the military, where it's like, hey, we need someone to make plate carriers. It's like, who's the lowest bidder to make our shit?
You know, Burger King for the longest time there was also doing stuff. I remember when I took my son to G.I. Joe, heck, both of them, you could go there and, you know, pick up some of their hot fries or chicken fries. That's what it was. And you could get that meal and have your collector's cup and get a little plastic figure and all that. I know that they might have done some. I don't know that they did a Star Wars one though, so I'm not quite sure.
Well, I remember they had Pokemon. They had like gold bars you could get at Burger King.
Oh, here you go. Kathleen Kennedy re-ups Lucasfilm. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Do you guys remember 1999 Taco Bell before the Phantom Menace?
No.
I guess I'm the oldest one here, so my bad. It's really showing my age.
Yeah, I remember. That's what I was talking about, the Yum brands.
Oh, right. Yeah. I actually, man, I miss those days when Star Wars was good, or at least we thought it was going to be good. Don't get me wrong. The prequels didn't please everybody. I liked them. I liked the Revenge of the Sith better than the other two, and, you know, we could get into that. But things were good. Like, we thought, oh, wow, Star Wars is coming back. The OT is going to finally get a prequel. And, man, I was working for my father's printing company, so I had a little bit of leeway because I drove all day doing deliveries and pickups and such. And I went and stood in line for like 5 hours. The news came. They were filming us playing Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. And, you know, people were in the parking lot wearing Jedi outfits. And mind you, they weren't great outfits. They were just thrown together with bed sheets that they stained brown or something. And these plastic lightsabers, hitting each other in the head and getting pissed for 5 minutes and then being like, yeah, my bad, it's all good. It was a lot of fun. Literally, the news was there, Channel 5. I was like, what? And nowadays, it's pre-purchase your tickets. Oh, and if you try to get online today, you're going to be sitting in a wait room for 9.5 hours because so many fucking idiots are trying to buy this ticket. You know, and then you finally get the ticket and you're like, okay, great. Well, I'll go the day it comes out because I've already got my ticket. And you go and you get ramrodded up the butthole and you're just disappointed. I really miss those days. I picked up my Taco Bell on the way to stand in line. I was there for 5 hours. I had to leave. My cousin actually drove 30 minutes out of his way to stand in line for me for 5 more hours until I could get back and camp out that night. That was what it was about. That was just awesome, and I really miss that. And you know, I know it's a little thing to really think back and say, well, yeah, but you didn't have you barely had cell phones, and pagers were still popular. You know, I mean, it was a simpler time. I mean, not as simple as say 1945, you know, but simple. When someone said, "Hey, I need to call you," you know, they had to wait till you either got home or you ignored the page, you know, because you were busy. Now I don't look forward to Star Wars, and I'm easily contactable. So it's a different time altogether. I remember that Taco Bell stuff, though, bro. So, Vader, Matrixx, definitely a victory for us, or just placating us?
I think it really is a victory because I really think that Disney and Lucasfilm, they looked at it and saw that the backlash was very, very real, and they caved in. Now, it took them, about a day or two. They could have just came out initially and said, you know what, no, this isn't right. But they waited. They waited because I believe they were actually looking at YouTube, looking at all these articles online, talking about the boycotts and everything like that. That's when they end up coming out and saying, all right, you got to release this copyright claim, because Star Wars Theory said that he had heard from was it Warner Chappell, and they were pretty firm, and he came out and said that they threatened to shut down his channel if he tried to, you know, fight it legally. And I think Disney and Lucasfilm, they were actually hearing that. They were like, oh my God, we got streaming service coming out. this year. We have episode 9 coming out this year. The Mandalorian. We're going to lose a bunch of people. We're going to lose a bunch of subscriptions to the streaming service. So they caved in, and they did the right thing because financially, it could have been a financial ruin for Lucasfilm going forward long term. Maybe not short term, but definitely long term.
Yeah, you see that's why I think this is all orchestrated by Disney, because you got to think this happened 3 weeks after. So like most people that were hyped, it had 6 million plus views. So like everyone that was excited to see it has already watched it. All the future views I would get would just be trickles for like whatever monetary gain they would have, at least unless the rules are they can claim all the money it's made that hasn't been taken by Star Wars Theory.
Right.
And I really think that this was orchestrated because I think they thought maybe we can get away with this. And Star Wars Theory, because of how they reacted when they contacted him, said, like, hey, if you try to challenge us, we're going to fucking stomp you in the ground. He utilized YouTube. He knows what the fandom is, even if he's not like playing his channel into that side of the fandom. He's trying to be very neutral. He knows that we're here and that the culture of Star Wars is really jaded and shot. And so I think he used that to his advantage. Like, hey, I can't fight you, but I can tell everyone what you're doing, and it's going to be hell to pay. Ethan Man Skyler is going to talk about this. Geeks and Gamers are going to talk about this. Bullshit is going to talk about this. Every little channel that loves Star Wars is going to talk about this. When I was looking at pictures about this for my video, there was articles that were like non-Star Wars, non-entertainment exclusive websites that were reporting on this. So this is big news outside of the fandom.
Yeah, and EVS actually called for a boycott. And then once everything was resolved, then he said, all right, the boycott is over for him. So, I mean, he's a bit channel, and he actually called for a boycott. Doomcock called for a boycott. So channels that weren't calling for boycotts were finally saying, all right, it's time to boycott.
Yeah, and to add to what Flipp was saying, luckily when I went to see Force Awakens, I saw it at like midnight Friday on release on base at Fort Drum, and they had the 501st escort us in and stuff, cosplayers and everything, and it was cool. It was like the raffle and stuff for cool promotional shit like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, the Force effects and stuff. But I remember there's all these rules theaters are putting out where they're like, oh yeah, you can't wear costumes, you can't have lightsabers, we're going to kick you out if you do that. You got to come like normal. And I remember looking back at all these at the Phantom Menace release footage and stuff, like people were in costumes, they had light up lightsabers in the theater. Like it was so exciting, and the theaters were like welcoming it, and it's like, what has happened? Like that should have been our first view and realization, like something's not right with Star Wars. And I feel so bad that I fell for it. Like as fun as The Force Awakens was, for like the hype and going to it, I saw it 4 times, but we should have saw something was wrong back then.
I really sucked. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I did see that something was wrong with The Force Awakens, because when I walked out, I was like, man, this movie is really not that good. I mean, it didn't offer anything new. I think people were just so hyped that Star Wars is back for the first time in over 10 years that they overlooked the fact of how in the world is Rey doing a Jedi mind trick? How in the world is Rey using a lightsaber without any training? How can she do all of these things? It made no sense. And I didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I know a lot of people did.
When I watched The Last Jedi, I felt bad about myself for even going. I kind of went home, got in the shower, and scrubbed myself extremely hard. I felt like I was a victim. Okay, that's how it feels. Like we were all victimized that night.
Yes, we are.
I mean? And that's why we're speaking out so loud. Like seriously, Disney doesn't want to realize that.
Dude, I'll tell you what's so funny. I'm going through the catalog of Geeks and Gamers on YouTube, and I watched his trailer reaction when he wasn't very big. And this is, I found him when he was about like 30,000. He started picking up steam before he got with the High Council.
I saw that trailer. Oh my God, it's so funny.
Yeah, I was watching it, and then I watched his reaction to his reaction, and he's like, listening to us, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh my God, this poor guy. And I just died laughing at his reaction to his reaction. He's like, yeah, he did not know. And he even said, like, oh my God, Ryan Johnson's going to be a legend. And he said, I don't feel Empire Strikes Back feeling. I feel a Dark Knight feeling for Star Wars. And it's like, oh my God, you could not be more wrong, you poor guy.
Freaking
But
brilliant to go back.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
I gotta admit though that the Last Jedi trailer was really, really good until you watch the movie.
Yeah.
Until you watch the movie, then it just ruins it.
Yeah, I remember watching the trailer. I was somewhat excited, and then hearing Ryan Johnson got his own trilogy, I said to my wife, I was like, "This might be the greatest Star Wars movie yet." And you know, if I didn't need it, I would cut my tongue off for even saying that, like, because that's not the case now, is it?
You definitely need that. We need to hear more from you.
Dude, the music in that No, go
ahead. No, you go ahead. I was gonna say it's just terrible, you know.
No, dude, like it's funny because you know, I made the Trump Awakens parody with Star Wars, and I used the music for it's not the direct music, it's like a copy of the music for the Last Jedi trailer without like all the words and stuff from the trailer. The music's fucking great, and like watching the trailer, it's like you feel that intensity and stuff. You're like, holy shit, what are they doing? You know, like this is gonna be crazy. I was so excited. I remember people were like, why are they releasing a Star Wars trailer during football for Monday night? And I just got back from Applebee's watching the Eagles beat the Giants. I'm like, yeah, I'm pumped, waiting for Star Wars after my Eagles beat them, and they released it. And then right after they opened it up to buy tickets, so I bought my tickets for 2 nights in a row that night in October, and I was so excited. And then like the first time I saw it with a friend who isn't into Star Wars and my wife, and I'm like. He's like, oh, it was okay. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you don't know what's wrong with this movie, dude. You don't know the saga. They fucked up. And then I saw it the second time because I watched people were like, this is a movie you got to see multiple times to get. And I saw it the next day and I'm like, nope, wrong. It's worse the second time.
You know, speaking of trailers, Angus, speaking of trailers, so I don't know if you guys know this, but the teaser trailer is actually overdue. Even EBS did a video back in mid-December about how it was supposed to come out really, really soon before the end of the year. But I was reading an article the other day, and probably fucking express.uk or some shit like that with all that spam and pop-up bullshit. But anyway, they were saying that since it didn't come out, there were two opportunities, Thanksgiving and sometime right before Christmas. And so it is overdue. Now that it is overdue, and it's probably likely going to be attached to the big game, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, Super Duper Bowl.
Yeah.
Are we all planning to watch that? Are we
all
watch the trailer?
I am. That I won't be YouTubing it all on. Well, I think I'm gonna do a live stream probably like at noon on Super Bowl Sunday, but just for a little bit. After that, I'm strictly Super Bowl.
Yeah, like I'm hoping the Chiefs go because my Eagles are out, and I want Reed to finally get a Super Bowl with Patty Mahomes, the new sensation of the NFL. I'm so excited, and I hate the Saints, so I hope the Saints go just so they lose in horrible fashion. I really hate. Okay, so just get on football a little bit because it sounds like John Matrixx into football too. So big Philly fan. I bawled my eyes out when Philly won because I'm not from Philly. I'm from Oklahoma. I chose my team. I wasn't raised with it. I chose a loser team historically, and we finally did it. And I just grabbed my son and I bawled. And this year was great given the fact that like it's happening again with Nick Foles, but we're a 6 seed and stuff. And I'm not mad at the Saints for that. I hate the Saints because before Katrina, the only Saints fans were down south in Saints country. No one wanted to be a Saints fan. They sucked. And Katrina happens, and they come back, and everyone's like, oh, yeah. And then they go Super Bowl, and even Barack Obama is like, oh, yeah, I want the Saints to win because of Katrina. Think about this. Boston has had the same thing where they had the Boston bombing and the Red Sox won. And the country kind of, you know, even though it's the Red Sox, they're all like, yeah, it's good the Red Sox won because of that calamity that happened. But think about this: no one rooted for the Jets or the Giants to go through after 9/11, so it's kind of fucked
No.
up. So I hate pity party teams like that where they get a fandom because of some tragedy to the city. It's like fuck you.
Yeah.
So
See,
I hate New Orleans because of that.
you probably won't like me because I'm a Cowboys fan.
No, well, I figured you were. I don't. Some of the best conversations I've had are with Cowboys fans. Like I love the rivalry, and there's been years where like we win a division, but it comes at the cost of like Tony Romo's season, and he's not even in the game when we take the division. And it's like, no, I want to beat y'all at y'all's best. And as sucky as it was, we lost twice to y'all in the playoffs. I was rooting for the Seahawks to lose so we could take the 5 seed and go to Dallas and hopefully beat y'all finally in the playoffs because both games came down tight, especially that overtime game. And
Yeah.
to top it off, I was hoping we could beat the Saints, of course, and I was hoping the Cowboys would beat the Rams so we could go in the NFC Championship and steal it from y'all because it'd be so epic. All the we them boys because I'm from Oklahoma. I know all the Cowboys fans. In general, the fandom it's like Ohio State where I'm up here in Ohio now. A lot of phonies. They only root when the team is good. I'll be right back.
Okay, so just going off what Angus said, I'm going to switch up the topic also to the Porn Olympics, where I just found out Bill the Baloney Skyfer went 20 deep from behind and came up with a brown medal. Okay, so back. So instead of talking about the Porn Olympics, let's go back to the trailer. Do we watch it and do we review it? What do you guys think?
The episode 9 trailer?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! I want to review that just because.
You want to
definitely gonna review it. You gotta review it. That's gonna really help your channel too. You gotta review it.
My plan was to do so. I just wanted to get y'all's opinions. I know we're gonna probably likely boycott. Of course, if you heard the Founding Fathers last night, I totally gave away what I'm planning to do. I'm sure you guys will enjoy the shit out of me dressed as Kung Fu Flipp, and I'm gonna purposely try to get caught sneaking into the movie the first night. So we'll see how that goes. But I do want to. I want to see the movie. It's a train wreck that I can't miss. It's. I want a front row seat to the shittiest show. Oh my god!
See, that's the reason. That's the reason I want to see it. It's just to see it flop. I don't want to be on the sidelines and I watch it and everybody saying, "Oh, this movie sucks." I want to be able to actually see it suck.
Yeah, I get what you guys mean.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be able to report on it. I would probably go so far as to record bits and pieces while in the theater. Also, just because that would really, be a lot of fun to see people see me get in trouble. And before I do this, I do want you to know I am going to start a backup channel in probably a month before. Poured all my shit over there. And I think it's going to be called Spit Doubt. So. Yeah, it's the difference
should be
between like and love,
It should be Pilf Out.
What? Pilf?
No, it should. Yeah.
No, dude.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
Pilf Out.
Oh, what's that mean?
It's flip backwards and then just out.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a.
No.
I thought it was
Here's what you do.
MILF, but...
Here's what you do. Oh no! You said pilf, and made me think like penis. I'd like to fuck. I'm like, whoa! I don't think Flipp's down for that. But no, here's what you do. You make your second. You make your second channel. What was it? Ship Doubt. And you sell yourself like you're some Raylo channel because apparently there's like a good underground current on YouTube for Raylo channels. I came across one. I'm like, oh my god, there's a fucking Raylo channel.
Damn!
You get a lot of false clicks, and like, oh Raylo, and I'm like, nah, there's none of that shit here. Get the fuck out,
That's why the channel should be called Shipped Out. Yeah, because you're shipping all the Raylo lovers out.
Oh yeah, that's actually clever. I like that.
Man.
But we do got to see it. We do got to review it. I agree with you, Matrixx. We really, really have to see this trailer and review it. First person out gets the dibs on views. Come on.
Exactly.
All right,
And
so I will see it only once then. Only once. And then no more after that.
It never hurts to look at the trailer. You're not spending any money to watch a trailer.
True.
Yeah, true.
Well, don't they get ad revenue for like rewatches?
I'm pretty sure they do by clicks.
Not if you screen record it.
Use ad block.
What's that, Katarn?
Or if you use ad block, then no revenue, no nothing.
Oh, very cool. Well, good to have you back, General. We've been holding down the fort for you.
Guys, I ate the most amazing stew ever. I just died and I came back.
Oh, jeez, man.
Oh, God. You ate a lot of stew. I'm glad I'm not hanging out with you, bro. Could be a dicey situation.
Commander down. Go land. The zone is hot.
Pull. Oh, wait.
We have incoming!
All energy to back rear deflector shields. Put all energy to real deflector.
The exhaust.
Be like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
shit. We made it, Captain.
No. And then, like, I fart, and then Flipp goes, "Pee, Yusa."
Yeah. Poodle.
Oh,
So cool. I was gonna cover this with Steph, but she, took off there. That's cool. But Brian Young sex chat with underage girls. Anyone have an opinion on that?
Yeah.
What?
Well, didn't you know this, John?
No, I didn't.
Well, EVS actually made a video on it, and allow me to, just explain what happened. Basically, Brian Young and his, what was his podcast partner's name? Bobby. Anyway, what the hell was the last name?
Monahan. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
This guy. Anyway, so they were on this podcast called "Full of Sith" together, and apparently, his Brian Young's co-host, if you will, he got accused of sexual assault by one of the girls, by one girl on Twitter and stuff, and this whole thing exploded, and the SJW shill peers of Brian Young and this guy Bobby turned on him. They turned against each other, and feminists show their true face. Now, when I saw the video, I saw a lot of familiar accounts there, like Abby Gleason, the feminist nerd, and all of these other guys and girls, especially the girls. And when this happened, Brian Young tried to defend his co-host at first, and then he said that something about putting his personal feelings. He should have put his personal feelings aside for the accusations of Bobby. He shouldn't have defended him and whatnot. And the whole shill media imploded in on itself. And then apparently this other these other Twitter accounts came out and said that Brian Young took place in DM rooms, and they were talking about shipping between General Hux and Kylo, which was called a Kylux chat, the shipping of these two, which is disgusting. And what happened is that there was this one kid, and I'm saying kid because if you're 16 or 17 or even damn 18 or 19, you're a teenager, and I believe that we're all adults. And then Angus says, "I'm 14, idiot." Anyway, so basically what happens is that the response that Brian Young had given, he said that, to this kid, he said, "Do you believe that the Kylo Ren is a top or bottom sexually?" And instead of putting the chat, Brian Young gave a response, and all of this is on the video on Ethan Van Sciver. It's called Star Wars Sex Scandal. You can just type that on YouTube, and you will see it on his channel. It's one of the first results to pop up on YouTube. And basically, what Brian Young responds, he says, "I think that he's both a top and a bottom, kind of caught between the light side and the dark side of the Force," which is a very disgusting answer. He should have said, "Okay, bye, I'm out of here." And he was caught, he was exposed on being on these Kylux chats. And it wasn't just the first time. There were many other occurrences, many other reports that he was talking to these teenagers. That's disgusting.
Yeah. So how about that? That's crazy. You
That is
Rant or Matrixx?
I have no idea what to even say about it. I mean, damn. I mean, if one of my friends was accused of it, I would try to stay by their side. But if I could actually see it possibly happening, then I might distance myself from them because I don't play around with that shit.
No, you see, when this guy, this Bobby guy, was he had been confirmed to have done something like this again. So it was common knowledge. It wasn't just an accusation. There was the evidence supporting this, and Brian Young said, "No, you were wrong." And all the female feminists turned against them. And one tweet that I remember very distinctly saying from the feminist nerd, she said that, you know what, basically along the lines of saying, "Hey, you know what? You may be a feminist of some sort, but they have like a priority of feminists. So if I'm a woman feminist, and there's this guy feminist, I'm going to support all female feminists first and throw the guy feminists under the bus." And since they're part of the same alliance, it goes to show that feminists are the most sexist beings out there.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I mean, feminists don't want men to do anything for themselves. I mean, they think they need to
They want you
do
to
everything.
support feminism. They want you to support feminism, but they will not hesitate to throw you under the bus when something happens. And that's what they did with Brian Young. That's what they did with his co-host Bobby. What the fuck his name is? I don't remember. But basically, it just goes to show that the SJW model will implode on itself eventually.
Oh,
and it always will.
I mean, I'll support feminists, but like Wonder Woman type of thing. Like, Wonder Woman's cool, and that's about it. That's as far as it goes. I mean, they have all the rights that they wanted to be able to have. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Feminists, SJWs, they're all always gonna find something to complain about, and it's like the only way to fix it is if you go out and do it yourself. I mean, don't just sit there and complain about it and expect social media to pick up on it.
There is no fixing this, Rent. There is no fixing this. They will always find something to complain about. Even if you're active, you're going to be aggressively active. You shouldn't be that active about it. So I wanted to ask John. So what do you think of this? All this that I just, told to you guys.
Wow. I don't even really know what to say. I mean, that's just, man. I mean,
Hypocrisy.
if that was I couldn't stand by my friend if that was my friend in that case. I mean, that's just bad. That's bad business right there. That's all I can really say about it.
True. But I mean, like, if your friend, if you had a friend that was just accused blatantly, and the internet is a place where you can easily accuse someone without any evidence. Now, that's one thing to support your friend and say, "Hey, until proven otherwise, I'm going to stand by my friend until you actually come up with some evidence." Now, Brian Young knew. I'm pretty sure that he did know about his co-host, but decided to not say anything about it, and then he acted all shocked on it on Twitter. What guys like Brian Young and all of these people out there don't count on is that the crowd that they're talking to, be it supporters or those against them, are not stupid. They pick up on these things. They know when they're lying. They know when they're being hypocrites. They know when they're actually acting shocked.
Wait a minute, he was acting shocked?
No, I mean, the thing is,
I mean, I don't mind standing behind a friend, that's just accused of something without proof. I mean, anybody can accuse anybody of something, but if he actually knew about it and then he was acting shocked, that's really bad, man. That's just being an enabler then.
Yeah, I mean, from what this, like Black Angus, I've heard that you are gonna go around flashing people tomorrow. It's no different than saying something like that. All right, go ahead, Angus. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, from what I understand, he's one of these, like when Brett Kavanaugh was accused, he was like, believe all women, doesn't matter about evidence, so you got to believe the women. But then happened to his friend, and he's like, let's wait for the evidence. And it's like, oh, now we want evidence, like. So that was kind of the funny, falling back on yourself. I don't think he was as bad as Chuck Wendig, but it was kind of that same scenario of like, believe all women, Kavanaugh's a rapist, but then one of their own is accused, and it's like, yeah, we need the facts. It's like, oh, now you're a libertarian. Now you're all about individual rights and due process.
I just want to interject for a second. So if you see on the Flipp Doubt Twitter that I am trying to follow Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and Collider in general, I'm trying desperately to see if I can get Christian to come on one of our streams. I just decided that like 5 minutes ago, by the way. So don't think much about it. If they don't follow back, then they don't follow back. But how cool would it be to actually get them on and talk to them? Opinions, guys.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Like a friendly debate.
Yeah, I always thought that Harloff was more on our side. If you got anybody else from Collider, it'd be completely different.
Like, the guy that... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't know the names. I just know them as a group, and there's like that one dumb chick who shills for everything, but then craps on like Aquaman and stuff, and clearly pro Disney, regardless of content. Yeah, I'll have to figure out which one's which. I feel that they're all pretty much shill worthy.
Yep. If anybody on here or if you're watching as a replay, please contact me at Phantom Collective or at cmerit73 and let me know if you have a way to contact them via DM or email, because I really want to set that up, and it'd be completely nuts. So, all right. Thank you, guys. Please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Or don't. All right.
Oh, God. Flipp's an infiltrator. He's a fraud.
Guys, if you had to fight against any Sith Lord, who would you want to fight against?
There you go.
Good question.
Sorry, I had to step away. What was the question? Sorry.
If you had to fight any Sith, who would you want to fight?
Ooh, well, I'm not that good with a lightsaber, and thank God they're plastic in this universe, because holy crap, I'd be dickless, to be honest with you. That's good. Definitely the weakest one I can think of, and they're also strong.
Probably Count Dooku. Old man Count Dooku. He's too old.
That's good. That's
really?
Good.
Really, Dooku? I think Dooku could put up a fight better than a lot of Sith. Just because that Makashi.
I mean, would you want to fight a Prime Vader, a Prime Maul, a Prime Sidious?
Yeah, I'd fight any.
I mean, but if you wanted a guaranteed win,
yeah, I would still fight.
I think the closest one is probably Dooku.
Well, are you a Jedi or Sith fighting this Sith?
Well, it depends on who am I? Who am I? What character am I?
Matrixx?
Yourself. Whatever you want to be,
Keanu Reeves.
If I'm Yoda, I wouldn't really care. I can take them all out.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll answer and then I'll pose a question. The Mortis part of Clone Wars, where Sam Witwer played the Sun character, the dark side Sun.
Oh wow!
I would like to fight him, especially if he had a lightsaber. That'd be cool. And to add to that, how would y'all feel if they added that to the live action movies, where you have like a shapeshifter Force user like Mortis, whether it's light side or dark side? Do you think that could work in live action Star Wars?
it could work if they actually wrote it in right, but I feel like because, you know, it's Disney, they would have them shape into a unicorn and then stay in that shape for the rest of the movie.
Sounds like Disney.
And I love your answer too. Picking the sun, Angus. That one was unexpected. I was like, oh shit, the sun.
Oh, that would work too. If I had to fight someone, I'd want it to be a challenge. I'd want to be someone that I believe that would be. Well, if he defeats me, that means that he was stronger than me. So if I had to fight someone, I'd want to challenge. I'd say Darth Malgus from the Old Republic era, because they said that not only was he very, well, he was well-rounded when it came to a lightsaber, but he was brutally strong. I mean, his physical strength was off the charts amongst the known Sith. So I'd have to say Malgus because I'd really want to test that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. See, for me, it just like with you, it's all about like who would be stronger and who would pose a challenge. Like I'm definitely like that about it. I would definitely want to like fight Star Killer or Revan, even Darth Bane. That would be awesome.
True.
Like I've always, you know, because like when it came to Sith, I've always imagined like, okay, so who's ever strongest wins, and you know, you hold the power, and everyone else is beneath you. So if you beat like Palpatine, this or that, like yeah, you guys ain't gonna touch me.
True.
I'm back. Sorry about that. My phone died. I thought it was plugged into the proper receptacle, but you know how it is. Sometimes you plug in the wrong one.
Yeah. You got that belly button, didn't you?
My honey.
Hey, look, she was a big receptacle. I had to roll her in flour and look for the hole. My bad.
Reminds me of the wrong hole experience.
What is the wrong hole experience?
How did you come back to that? I don't get. You sexist, misogynist. Now respect them.
I'm captivated.
No, when they say wrong hole, I'm like, yes, man. It's like, well, you better start being the right hole.
Oh, right. Sometimes you can't tell until you pull the plug out.
What? We didn't have any corn?
Oh man.
Wow, and this is early day. Sorry. So we can't exactly NC-17 this bitch, can we? Oh boy.
So guys, Infinity War, did you get on to discussing this at all? Well, I was just gorging my face.
No.
Not yet. And not with a Jedi. But I do want to talk about Infinity War. Endgame looks really good, and Matrixx, I'm dying to hear your take on it, man.
Ooh, Endgame. It's going to be epic. It is going to be epic. And the good thing is you can actually watch the trailers for Endgame. And Bob Iger already came out and said that anything from the marketing is only going to be like the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. So, and usually in the movie, the first 15 to 20 minutes, that's usually like the slowest part of the movie. So no spoilers whatsoever. So I think there's going to be time travel in this movie because Samuel L. Jackson kind of said that, Captain Marvel can time travel, and she may actually be the weak link of this movie. But still, I think this is going to be an all-timer. I really, really do. I cannot wait to see this movie. This is my number one movie of the year that I want to see, and it's not even close.
Oh. So, do you believe that Tony Stark or Captain America are going to die in this one?
Tony Stark? No. I think that at the beginning of the trailer. I think that was, just trailer stuff, making it seem like he's going to die, but he's not going to die. Now, Captain America, I really do think some major character is going to die in this movie. For real this time. So, Captain America seems to be the buzz. For one thing, we know it's not Spider-Man. We know it's not Nick Fury because they're in Spider-Man: Homecoming, which takes place after Endgame. Now, why did they put that trailer out already? I don't know, because that they're going to live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Endgame, I'm so ready for it. So ready for it.
Yeah, it's gonna beat episode 9.
Oh, it's not even close. That movie's gonna beat episode 9 by $1 billion easily.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, go.
No, go on, Flip.
I was just gonna say I agree with the $1 billion thing. Like, it'll at least reach $1 billion. I think I wouldn't say it reaches $1 billion before it hits China, but I think it's a worldwide. It's like I don't want to say like Star Wars because that doesn't make sense, but I think it's like it's got the momentum that Star Wars used to have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. The anticipation is there.
Yeah, I think you're right, Matrixx. I think it'll make $1 billion easy. Hell, it might really be one of the first movies to approach. Well, I'm not going to say 2 billion, but I think definitely somewhere in the early.
No. I think you misunderstood me. Okay. Avengers Endgame is going to beat Star Wars episode 9 by at least $1 billion.
Woo!
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I think Endgame is going to make over $2 billion at the box office. I have episode 9 making $900 million.
Do you think Endgame can compete with the #1 spot of Avatar at $2.7 billion?
Ooh, I don't see that. James Cameron, he's on another level from the Russo brothers as a filmmaker, but I just don't see that. Avatar was something that we had never seen before, and Endgame is a sequel. So usually, and actually, this is the 4th Avengers movie, so I don't see it getting that far. I can see 2.2 billion for Endgame, but 2.7, I don't see that at all.
Yeah, I really hate the hate that Avatar gets. They're like, oh, it's just Dance with Wolves or Pocahontas in space, and it's like that's a simple start for a series, and the whole thing, like, it was meant to be a spectacle, kind of like the beginnings of sci-fi film were stupid or simple, but it was the spectacle of it. That's what's great.
Yeah.
I
love Avatar.
It's funny though, because in my critique of in the Star Wars theory, I was talking about like I think this is all orchestrated at Disney, and I was saying that like I think they bought Fox just to kill competition because none of the series are viable with Disney's brand, including like Simpsons and Family Guy and stuff. But I forgot about Avatar being a Fox product, and they have the Avatar Disneyland stuff, and so. That is another multi-billion-dollar series that they can get outside of the X-Men and Fantastic Four being retooled into Disney. But it's still yet to be seen because of how Disney is trying to just like capitalize and monopolize. I just wanted to add that point.
I went and saw Avatar when it first came out. I took my son and his buddy, 3D, all that. I went, and guys, to me, I knew it was going to be a spectacle. James Cameron, inventor of the Terminator, just absolutely a cool guy. Like, I think he's came up with almost as many IPs as Steven Spielberg, maybe more. I know I'm leaving one or two out, but Avatar and Terminator is the one I'm thinking of. Didn't he actually do one of the Alien movies also?
Yeah, he did. He did Aliens.
Aliens, right.
And Titanic was a box office behemoth too, so...
What about
1997 was
True Lies, 1993. Fantastic.
Oh, also
True Lies is 94. I love True Lies. That is a great movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got it wrong, but the thing is, it's a fantastic movie, and it goes to show you that Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the best actor in the world, but the way that he got the proper directions from Cameron made it work. And guys, Jamie Lee Curtis she was hot in that movie. She had one body. She knew how to work it.
Oh yeah, I want to see her penis.
Oh man. Hey
Yeah,
guys, I'm sorry.
I wish the body was more revealing in Halloween.
Hey guys, I'm
2018.
sorry. I'm gonna have to run. All right.
Oh, okay.
You're good, Rant.
All right. Sorry, you guys. Y'all have a great stream, and thank you for inviting me once again.
No problem, man.
Yeah,
You
be
take
safe.
care, Rant.
Great to have you,
Take
man.
care,
Spend
guys.
time with your fam, bro. Happy birthday to your daughter.
Thank
Okay.
you. See you guys next time.
All right, later.
See you, Rant.
So six scale. It says, and I know he was actually talking to Bonnie, but he says, broken clock, correct, 2 times a day. And I'm about to respond, but I guess I could avoid responding. Broken cock, never correct.
Oh my.
John, to add to your thing with Endgame, I think it's really dumb to release Spider-Man Far From Home because he has. I was watching Emergency Awesome to get some pointers for my coverage of Spider-Man before I make this video, and he's pointing out there's like at least 2 new suits for Spider-Man, and Happy's in the movie. And it's like, man, this totally undercuts anything you were trying to build up with Iron Man because that's where he's getting all of his suits. And so,
Right.
it does give me hope, though, for my theory about how you work Robert Downey Jr. going forward. And it is, I don't know a lot about Batman Beyond. Never got to really watch it as a kid, even though I love the animated series. I think what they're going to do with Tony Stark to placate the fans and Robert Downey Jr. to not involve him so much because he's tired of being Iron Man. I think they're going to make him the Bruce Wayne in the background for the series to continue his involvement with Spider-Man and being like this kind of patriarch leader for the Avengers outside of being in the suit of Iron Man. Or the new suits are coming from Shuri and Black Panther, taking over the ingenuity aspect of Tony Stark for the Avengers.
Yeah, I was thinking that Shuri's going to play a big role also in Endgame, but it looks like she's missing too. So I don't know what happened with her because we didn't see her disappear at the end of Avengers Infinity War.
John, how do you think that they can bring, all of these guys that just turned into dust back? How's it possible?
Well, I think they've already pretty much said that Captain Marvel is the most powerful Avenger. So I think there's going to be time travel involved. And I think she may show up right before Thanos does his snap and defeat Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. And like I said, I don't really like time travel in this movie either. I'd rather it just be something to do with the stones or something like that. I don't really know.
But we already know based on Ant-Man that in the trailer that there is time travel. Have you seen that? I'm not sure who did the YouTube video, but basically they broke it all down. I want to say it was, I can't remember their name, but they break it all down, and right at that spot, they look at the van that Ant-Man is driving, and he's at the gate, and then I think it was Captain America says, "Is this live? Is this a live recording or something like that?" But they're not calling it time travel. What is it that they say to Ant-Man right at the end after the post-credit scene? They say, "Don't get near the time vortexes."
Yeah. So he goes through the time vortex. Actually,
he's got to, right?
Yeah. My sister, she looks into the comics. Sorry to interrupt. She looks into the comics and she looks into these things a lot more than I do. Because I don't like spoiling myself. I like the things to come out first, and then I just like to research them. But my sister, she said about Ant-Man and the Wasp, he does go through the time vortex, and that's basically how he's present for Endgame, the trailer when we saw him.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm by the way, General. I am waiting on a Gmail to bring someone else in, and I will send that to you shortly. But the time vortex back to Matrixx, I'm not against the time travel in this particular movie. I think the way that Marvel has set it all up, and I know some people aren't a big fan of Spider-Man and with the way that they're doing it. I personally never had a problem with any of it. It doesn't matter. It's okay. We all have our own opinions, and debating friendly is awesome. But there's definitely mistakes in pretty much every damn movie. So we can pick it apart. But honestly, the way they're setting Marvel up and the way they've done it, I think it's acceptable to say that, well, time travel is a necessity in this, but they didn't ever. And it's like with the Star Wars universe, they never set up time travel until recently with Rebels. And so that's really frustrating for me if they do time travel in the movie. Although, in order to see certain characters, I might forgive it if it's done
Well,
properly.
it isn't exactly time traveling. If you take the world between worlds, it is basically, like it's like a standpoint in all the timelines. It's like a parallel universe kind of thing. And I do believe that, it was only used once in that episode where, Ezra saves Ahsoka from Vader. That's pretty much, it is like time travel, but not exactly, like Back to the Future kind of time travel,
No, it's not. But it is. I mean, nonetheless, it's going to a different moment in time, and I love the Rebels for it. But like John Matrixx made a point earlier, if you put it in the live action movie, having it not been established, it's a funny thing about canon. Like, only very few things work between the movies and the cartoons or animated stuff. It would be weird. And also, we've never seen a real life Ahsoka, like a live Ahsoka or a live Ezra or a live Thrawn, and that'd be a whole bunch of shock. You don't really want to shock people at the end. I mean, when I say shock, I mean character development shock. Like, you don't want to avoid more character development. If anything, character development should be absolutely prime. Yeah. But I do like the idea of it in Marvel, because it's Ant-Man established that it's possible. Is he the only one? I think Thor maybe established.
Doctor Strange.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, but he has a time stone. It makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it's okay. It's not the choice I would rather have, especially since they've already come out and said time travel is absolutely not part of this movie. I mean, that's the part that bugs me when they say it's not. But thoughts? Anybody?
Well, the thing with Doctor Strange that I put together before I really, but it kind of doesn't make sense given like the first Doctor Strange, where he wouldn't just like set it up to be a loop to try to defeat Thanos. So that's kind of a plot point error, I would say, unless you say like something about the Reality Stone would defeat that premise. But he needs the Time Stone to, reverse Vision's destruction to get the Soul Gem. But one thing I put together was the little hints where Ebony Maw tries to take his stone, and he burns his hand, and he's like, "Oh, it's a simple spell, but quite hard to break." And he's like, "Well, I'll take it off your corpse." And then he tells him, "Try breaking a dead man's spell." So even if Strange is dead, I feel that he is attached to the stone somehow still. And also apparently you exist in the Soul Stone when you die. So he's like, how he communes with Gamora was like him communing with her in the Soul Stone somehow. So there's all sorts of intricacies with that at play. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I'm sorry?
With the Soul Stone. I like your angle there. Matrixx, what do you think about the Soul Stone and people getting trapped there?
I don't really know how to feel about the Soul Stone in this movie. But I mean, we all know it's like one of the 6 stones here. So I don't know how big of a role now the stones will play. I mean, you have all of these stones. and you still have a story to tell. We have all of these Infinity Stones, so I think if they concentrate too much on the stones, it may take away from the movie somewhat. So I'm not exactly sure how it is now. People could be trapped in certain places, I guess, with it, but I don't know. I don't know about the Soul Stone.
Okay. Connie's on.
Hi, guys.
What is up, Bonnie?
Not much. Celebrating tonight for my 200 subs. Thank you all for helping me get there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, you all are a big part of me hitting that 200 subs, so thank you.
Well, that is no problem. I like your format. I think you could be like the Rising Phoenix, like Geeks and Gamers and the High Council. I think you might supersede all of us eventually, given the kind of interesting, unique format you've set up for your channel. With hey, it's a free for all. Come on my channel. It's gonna be fun.
Well, if I rise up past them, you guys are going with me.
Something really cool about you, Bonnie, is your networking ability. Sometimes, and this has only happened recently, but sometimes when I fall off the map trying to find the opportunity I'm looking for, you seem to be able to help me out with that fairly quickly, and I appreciate that. I mean that humbly.
Well, thank you for giving me that credit.
Absolutely. We're all here to help each other, and it is an awesome thing to hit that sub count. I'm almost there myself, but it's ultimately the vibe I get from you on and off air is that you are willing to do anything for the Fandom Menace Phase 2, Wave 2 Fandom Collective. And I truly believe that. And I wouldn't say that on air like this unless I really felt it. So thank you for that, and congrats, man.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all.
So just to let you all know, tonight I am doing a really special show. I'm actually starting my show early tonight, like at 7, and I'm asking all of the people who have been on my show or wanting to get on my show to let me know what time they'd like to come on, and I'm bringing you all on to celebrate tonight and give you a thank you and try to help you build your subs up as well.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. It really is.
Sounds cool. If I can make it, I will.
Awesome. Just hit me up on Twitter and let me know what time slot you want. I know 8 o'clock is full right now, but like 7, 9, 10, and so on are all open because I'm just going to keep this going like I would right into my normal hours.
Awesome.
Sounds good. What are your thoughts on time travel in the Marvel universe versus Star Wars universe?
Honestly, a Star Wars time travel doesn't belong there at all, as far as I'm concerned. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit in with anything that we know to be true with the EU or with the OT. So yeah, I don't like the idea. I don't want it there. It doesn't belong there. That's more of a Star Trek thing. As far as the Marvel universe, it might work depending on how it's done. But there again, like I said, I don't really believe it belongs there, but it is a possibility because with Doctor Strange being able to see all the different time periods, it could work. It's just got to be played very carefully.
Yeah, the way you put that, it made me think. With Star Wars is all about destiny and I would say a question of destiny versus free will and like inheritance, and ultimately it's about like universal consequence and effect across the universe with your decisions. And so time travel really undercuts that in a big way. That is such a key point of Star Wars that something like Star Trek, Doctor Who, Marvel with Doctor Strange and whatnot, in comics in general. They're always like retooling and rebranding and resetting universes, but Star Wars, it's problematic to say the least.
Yeah, I don't see how it could fit in there. It just doesn't fit with the lore in any way. But then again, Disney's destroyed everything else. Why not destroy that too?
Well, that all has to do with I don't know. I don't know what they're going for. Do you guys think that Marvel is going woke?
There is signs of it, especially with this whole Captain Marvel thing. But do I think that Endgame is going to go woke? Probably not. Probably not.
I don't think so either. But though,
But we'll have to see how the Captain Marvel angle plays out though in it. But I doubt that it's going to go woke.
Is Spider-Man Matrixx?
Is that going woke? I don't think so. I think because what else is coming out after Spider-Man Homecoming? I don't think
Black Panther sequel, I guess.
I'm sorry?
A Black Panther sequel.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything. Do they have anything actually planned after Spider-Man Homecoming? Because I really haven't heard anything. But we know that there's going to be the Loki series on Disney Plus, and there's going to be the Scarlet Witch series. But as far as movies go, I don't really know. I don't know. But do I think in the future they're going to go woke? All signs are pointing to yes. And they're taking that Star Wars model now, and I just don't understand why they're going to do that, because they can see how Star Wars has just declined. It makes no sense to go woke.
In Endgame, and I just read this is 1 day ago, and it's just keeping with the Marvel theme we're with, so I apologize jumping from Spider-Man for a minute, but apparently Zoe Saldana and Karen Gillan will be reprising the sister's role from Guardians of the Galaxy in Avengers Endgame. Reshoots come as a shock since they all assumed that this was definitely a dead idea. So what do you guys think of that? And what about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is still on the agenda for Marvel? So there is definitely space for the sisters in this episode. Matrixx.
First off, we all know that Zoe Saldana is coming back as Gamora. That's another problem I have too. I think it's spoiling too many people that are actually coming back, because her character didn't die from the snap. She was actually just killed. So we know that she's coming back. And what was the other part of your question?
Well, it's I agree with you. She was killed, but also consumed by the Soul Stone, so that the Soul Stone could then be given to Thanos. So my idea is, and you're right, she was killed. In my brain, she was killed and pulled into the Soul Stone. And I think that her, just like Spider-Man, we know he's dead. And if they're not going to explain it in that movie, and all of a sudden you see Endgame, I guess it'll make sense for Spider-Man, but it won't really make sense for Gamora and, gosh, what's the other one's name? Nebula. But they're going to be in Avengers Endgame. I just wanted your opinion on how they're going to continue that with only slight preparations and well, they're going to do a Guardians 3, but they're really just not even starting on it right now. So with that in mind, how do you feel about Nebula? Yeah.
I thought Guardians 3 was actually on hold right now because of the whole James Gunn thing and the Drats, the Destroyer thing. I didn't think they were actually kind of moving forward with it right now. This is the first I've heard of it. So
this was from mxdwn.com 1 day ago. So I literally just found this.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
If they're doing reshoots with Gamora, I think there may be a finality for Guardians, because I don't know about Taika Waititi. Everyone wants him to jump on for Guardians, but he hasn't. They haven't made any plans with him, and they tried to get Bradley Cooper, the guy who plays Rocket, to direct, because he just did Star Is Born, and he declined, which is weird because he's been in the fold with James Gunn as far as involved with production and being Rocket and stuff. So I really think they're going to just clean slate Guardians, despite it being a viable franchise going forward. I think they really messed up, not really vetting James Gunn or maybe using him, but in the background instead of making him like the director and stuff. Like he's such, if this was discovered as him like someone as a screenwriter only, I don't think it would have been such a big deal. But him being at the forefront and being involved with the Guardians part of Infinity War, and then having to like can him because of Roseanne, they couldn't have a double standard. So I think they really botched the Guardians thing, and I don't think it'll progress.
Yeah, because didn't they throw out James Gunn's script for Guardians 3? I think they did.
Yes.
Yeah, and Dave Bautista's been really adamant about like I want out because James Gunn's not back.
Yeah. Well, he can easily be replaced. I mean, you can find another guy to play that character. To me.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know, like continuity and stuff. Like I think people get, as opposed to like recasting some of the Thor characters that people didn't even notice. I think it'd be more prominent if you recast Drax. Be like, whoa, that's not Drax. I don't know. That's just my opinion as far as public reception.
It goes on to say, at least for now, and this is a quote from mxdwn.com. At least for now, we know for sure that both sisters will be making an appearance in Avengers Endgame, and we'll find out for sure when the film hits theaters April 26, 2019. And then it has 2 Instagrams of Saldana getting in her makeup. One of them says just, yep. And then the other one says, hair up, what goes on must come off. Adios, Gamora. For now, at least. Ha. So that's kind of actually, I mean, really, this is sort of a little of an exclusive that we're putting out here because I don't think many people have read about this, but I think it's really cool. I feel like Saldana's character was definitely going to be coming back, and I am intrigued to see how they do that. I'm intrigued to see how they all come back. What with Spider-Man and everyone having movies continuing.
Yeah, but how are they going to come back and make it look good? That's the question. And I think they'll pull it off, but I'm just curious how they'll actually do it.
It really is the question. Rant? Oh, he took off. My bad. Katarn's on mute. Okay. So, all right.
We got Bonnie.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think, Bonnie?
I'm not as much into the MCU stuff, I guess, as I am into the Star Wars stuff. But personally, I did follow the whole thing with James Gunn and with Batista and all the stuff that's going on with that. And my stance on it is Batista's not much better than James Gunn in many ways because there are things that I know about him that I have heard from somebody who has inside information. So I can understand why he's taking James Gunn's side on this and backing him. But with that being said, I think that they're really screwing up. I think they need to just scrap it all and give it some time to die down from what has happened and give people time to calm down and then maybe try to revisit it farther in the future because it's still fresh in everybody's mind on what happened and why it happened. And I think that's going to have a big effect on how it does with the movies and how people receive the movies, no matter what director they put on it.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll have to find this link, but I remember reading it. Apparently, it was from Batista's like an autobiography or something autobiographical or something. It's from his like own words, and he was talking about like I'm not sure if his wife is dead or not. I think his wife had cancer or something, and so like she couldn't put out, and like I guess she agreed to like an open relationship, and he was talking about like pretty much saying like, man, what a bitch! I can't get laid for my wife because she's got cancer, and it's just like, man, that's like some John Edwards shit. It's really demented.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. Yeah, he outright admitted to all of that. And I feel, okay, look, first of all, when you get married to somebody, you stand by them no matter what the condition, sick, healthy, it doesn't matter. Secondly, when somebody's going through cancer, at the most, that is the worst thing to go through. And to be like, well, she's such a bitch because she won't give it to me, so I'm going to go get it somewhere else. Man, what kind of man does that? he's not a man. He's one of those. Never mind. I'm not even going to go on that rant. I did enough of that last night.
Yeah, he's an opportunist.
But let's just say he is not the person that I thought he was when I first had respect for him. And when that came out, he lost all my respect in every turn of him. He is, in my book, he is not a man. He's not even a mouse. I wouldn't even give him the same level as a mouse because that's disrespectful to a mouse. So yeah, I have no respect at all for the man. None whatsoever. That's the worst time to even be thinking about sex when your significant other, be it male or female, husband, wife, whatever, is going through cancer. Your place is by their side, not worrying about getting sex and jumping in bed with another person. That's just twisted.
Excuse me. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to get out of here. Got several things I gotta take care of here.
All right, it's been great talking to you, John.
Yes, this is a lot of fun. We definitely have to do this again.
Hey, thanks for coming on, John. I really appreciate it. I really, truly do. Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead, Bonnie.
John, hit me up on Twitter. Get with one of the guys in the chat. They've all got my Twitter. Because I'd love to have you on the show. Even if you could come on for like an hour tonight or something, that would be great.
John, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really sorry that I couldn't be with you at all times today. I just had a little family thing going on and as well on the side, but I really appreciate the time that you took to sit with us, chat with us, talk with us. It was really great meeting you. I've subbed to your channel, and I eagerly await to see what other content that you come up with in the following months and years.
Yes, I do appreciate it. Bonnie, where's your Twitter at? I'm on Twitter now, so I can just find you on here.
It's at Missy 121974.
1974. Found you. Okay. All right. And I'll talk to you guys. Yes.
We have some big things happening very soon, and I'm a big collaborator. So is Angus, and all of us actually guitar. We'd all like to see it. We'll be in touch. So we'd like to see if there's some collabs in the future. And again, thanks for coming on.
Okay, and I'm probably going to be having guests on my show that I do because I usually go live about 3 days a week. Now is Super Bowl time and everything. It's going to go back to 3 days a week after the Super Bowl because I go live on Sundays, but I'm not going to go live this Sunday, obviously. So because nobody will watch.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So we can definitely do that. I'll be in contact with you guys, and I guess I'll be talking to you guys soon. Okay.
Sure thing.
Right.
Yeah. See you around. Hey, John, real quick. What two teams do you want in the Super Bowl out of the Final Four?
Patriots in the AFC and what is it? The Rams.
Wow. Oh, you want a rematch of the Warner Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, that would be the rematch of that. Yeah. It's just that I'm a Cowboys fan, and I went to college in Louisiana, and man, those Saints fans, they hate the Cowboys. They really, really hate the Cowboys. And once the Saints actually started winning, then you had all these bandwagon Saints fans come out the woodworks. So
yeah.
outside
it's become a good rivalry.
of Louisiana. Yeah, outside of Louisiana. I mean, the people in Louisiana are true Saints fans, but all of these Saints fans, and like I live in Houston. I mean, some of those guys, because actually after Katrina, a lot of those people moved to Houston, but you do have some bandwagon Saints fans. So
yeah, you'll see them fall off once Drew Brees retires.
Yep, exactly.
Well,
then the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. They'll be like, "Oh, I love the Cowboys." No, you didn't.
Well, I'd like a rematch in the Porn Olympics between Bill the Baloney Cipher and Connie Cunnilingus, because that brown medal is gonna get taken away.
I don't want the Cowboys to win because I've been a diehard fan since I was a kid. So, yeah, even when they started to suck, I still stood by their side.
Yes.
So that would be awesome to see them take it again. They won it once when I was a kid, so I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, I got to see 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. And as far as this Super Bowl, I want the Patriots to win.
Well, if we can see that triple spin, Connie Cunnilingus' triple spin and suck squat, I can't wait to see that too, guys. Hey, thanks for coming on, John.
Thanks for coming on, John.
All right, you guys.
Nice to meet you, John.
You guys be safe. Thanks.
That was great. Oh, it was good having John Talks on my channel, on this podcast, on the stream. And Bonnie, this is the first time I believe that we're chatting. Sorry, Flipp. It's the first time that we're chatting live, so I want to welcome you officially. Welcome to my stream and Flipp's stream.
Thank you.
It was great having you too, Katarn. I wish you could flash freeze some of that stew. Like, it sounds amazing. Actually, you talked about it earlier.
The thing is, I can make it with pretty much anything. It's not like an exclusive meat. I mean, it's beef. You can get me beef anywhere in the world. Just throwing a few potatoes in there. Yeah, I can pretty much cook anything, even meth.
Well, contact me later. We have a business to start. Yeah.
Yeah. But remember, I am the one who knocks.
God damn, that is such a great scene.
Right.
That is such a great series, period.
So yesterday I had some people freaking out on John Talks when you were on there, General Katarn, and when you were talking about lions. I said, lions are cute. Oh, on TV. And they were all like, what? Lions are cute. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, you said TV. It took them a minute to catch that one. That was funny.
Yeah, it's funny talking about lions. Like, when I was a kid, I loved Lion King, I loved African animals and stuff. Couldn't get enough Animal Planet, Discovery. And it's funny, like, I'd watch like cheetahs and lions stuff eat like raw meat, and it just looks so tasty. And then you go to like the store and you get, you see hamburger or something, like, oh my God, I would never eat this raw.
My mom had to stop me when I was around 4 years old, because I would go in when she was putting the meat in the refrigerator to thaw out a little bit, I would go in there and open it and eat it. That's got to tell you a little something about me, I think. A little something.
Hey, my mom likes raw hamburger meat. I don't know why. She doesn't like hers cooked all the way. And she used to eat it raw. And I was like, what the hell? She said, we did that all the time as a kid. I said, yeah, as a kid, it's not the same anymore. Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I used to eat cold hot dogs, like, out of the package, and now I can't stand hot dogs. Like, I'll eat sausage, but like hot dogs, like, knowing where they come from, what it is, it's just garbage. And
I know, right?
I can't believe I'd eat that cold. Like, gross. Like, what? Didn't even boil it.
Well,
yeah. I can't eat hot dogs either.
Actually, I went to this restaurant here in at the coast, and there was this menu, and basically, when I went to the steaks page, they said, "How do you want it? Do you want rare, medium rare, well done?" And next to the preferences, there were these smiley faces, and there were two smiley faces on medium rare and rare, and there was this sad like emoji next to well done. It's like, yeah, it's completely ruined and stuff. And I went to the manager and I said, you're actually putting this on your menu. I mean, some people like well done meat. People like cooked meat. I mean, I can't pass a medium rare beef steak. I can't pass. It's okay. But some people like their pork well done. If you eat pork medium rare, you're going to get sick. If you eat chicken medium rare, it's disgusting.
This is true.
Well, I once went to a pizza restaurant that no longer exists, and I ended up in the hospital that night, and I don't really know how that could have happened, but you got to be careful, man. That's one of the reasons I like my meat absolutely 110% cooked. I don't like it crusty and burnt, but you got to cook it. But having a name like Black Angus, I mean, you must like yours well done, right?
No, I like it usually medium. I like a little pink in the center.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, the only thing I eat medium done is steak. That's it.
Although I do love raw sushi. I will eat like fish and stuff. I'll eat that raw. What's funny though, I went to a Japanese restaurant for like a first date with this girl in San Antonio when I was training for medic school, and I ordered sashimi because I'm always up to try shit, but I didn't. I thought that was just like a type of sushi, but it's just like a meat plate. It's like a plate full of different cuts of fish that are all raw, and so I was like, oh fucking, like my first real attempt at like anything sushi, like real sushi, because my mom's so ambivalent to, so hateful to the idea of sushi, even if it's cooked. She just has this stigma about it, and I'm like, oh my god, I already ordered this. They brought it out. They're not going to take back raw fish, so I'm like, okay. I powered through and ate it. White tuna is great. White tuna raw is great. Red tuna not so much. It's a different texture.
There's the one that is it's a puffer fish. I don't know what the dish is called. It's a sushi dish. Only a few people make it in the world. But the puffer fish is so incredibly poisonous. Do you think you'd try that? Anybody?
That's too much of a risk having kids so young. I wouldn't try the puffer fish, no.
Good thought,
not
man.
me. Not me. I'm allergic to seafood, so I can't eat any seafood, so I'm safe.
Well, me, I don't usually eat seafood. I mean, I like a specific way when they make fish. I like it, grilled with some, like lemon oil sauce or butter sauce, mixed with lemon and stuff and herbs.
Yeah, I just can't eat seafood, so it kind of sucks to be me.
Is it just me, or am you guys getting hungry too?
I'm gonna die.
No, I just had some potato cheddar soup my wife made with bacon. I was chowing down on it while I was listening to y'all.
Wow.
I'm making spaghetti, so.
Nice.
Sorry, Flipp. Just making it worse, I know.
Yeah, you are, because I'm totally thinking about it.
Bonnie, we should have you on stream, sometime to speak a lot more than 20 minutes because, you share the same views as us and you are a very conversational person to talk to. And, previous stream, you reached out to me and you helped me out of, your own kindness. You didn't owe it to me and Flipp or anyone. And you just, I see how active you are and networking us around really, really helps. And I also appreciate that.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I explain on my channel. The reason that I reach out to everybody and try to bring them on my channel, whether they're a known channel or a channel that's not known, is because when I first started out, I started off with John Talks and with Craig at Reviews for You, and I was just a moderator in their chat. And from there, people on Craig's channel who had shows started bringing me on to talk, and I didn't even have anything on my channel at the time except for 2 rant videos that I did like in 2014, and that was all that was on my channel. And then when Craig got sick and we all found out about him having to have surgery to remove 2 brain tumors that were cancerous, I started using my channel to speak out to try to get him help on a GoFundMe, and they started bringing me on their channels to talk about it and get the word out. And then everybody was like, Craig, you need to bring her on your channel because you're the only one that has it and she's your girl. So he started bringing me on. And because of that, I started to think about doing my own channel. And then Craig and DJD started letting me throw ideas off of them. And I came up with ideas for my channel. And because of them, I started my channel. So I just wanted to turn around and give that back to other people.
And it's a success because you reached 200 subs. And I think that you're going to continue growing from there. People appreciate that.
But that's my goal. My goal is to go ahead, Flipp.
I was just going to tell him that Bonnie and I had actually tried to get Craig from Reviews for You to come on today. I was hoping to surprise you with it, but we couldn't get him to come back. I mean, he's he's sick, so we definitely tried, and Bonnie definitely tried.
It's not this, just that I just tried to call his phone today, and it's saying that it's got restrictions on it. So I'm thinking I know he's having financial trouble right now. So I think maybe I might have spilled over to his phone because that's the only way I can reach him, and I can't seem to be getting through to him. So that's why I keep pushing his GoFundMe to try to help him out. And I know one of his medications cost over $1,000 that he has to take. And yeah, he's not having a really good time right now.
Well, our thoughts do go to him because I heard of this situation, and
Sorry. I heard you flush. So
no, it wasn't flushing. It was actually a gate door on the neighbor's side. I don't know what the hell is it. The gate to Mordor.
Gates of Mordor.
Geez, sorry about that, guys. But anyway, so I heard about it, and I didn't really know him that well at the time, and I do wish him, you know, all the best. Everything that good can happen should happen to him because you know he is a good person. I hear a lot of good things about him, so yeah, he deserves the best.
Yeah, he is great. And the thing about Craig is he's the type of person, his motto for life is my facts don't give a F about your feelings. And he lives by that motto. So he's not going to hold anything back. He's going to tell you how it is, whether you like it or you don't like it. So yeah, he is a great guy. And I mean, he has had some good things happen at his shop. Some of you may or may not have seen his videos where the girl he had running his shop for him got arrested because she decided to go see her boyfriend in jail while Craig was in the hospital for his first surgery and got busted for smuggling drugs into her boyfriend. So that affected his shop in a lot of ways, and he lost a lot of money because of that. And so he just recently replaced everybody that was working at his shop with a brand new team that actually knows what they're doing. So things are getting done now. But then on top of that, he found out after he did all this that he has an infection somewhere in his body and his blood pressure has been rising because of it. So it just seems like when something good happens, something bad happens to him too. So I'm hoping things continue to turn around for him for the better. But like I said, the big thing with me is my channel is all about helping others. I mean, people did it for me and I want to do it for other people because that's just the type of person that I am.
Well, you're definitely networking. Anyone who can go from, what was it, 20 or 30 subs a week and a half ago to over 200 now, you're doing something right. So keep that going. Absolutely. And we're all proud of you.
The big thing is I noticed with a lot of the big channels, they seem to forget where they came from and they don't want to reach out and help the little channels. And I never want to become that. I always want to be the person who remembers where I came from and continue to help others get to where I get to. So my success rides on others' success.
That's very noble.
Yeah, that's something I'll say about Geeks and Gamers. I'm not sure how he knew about I'm not sure who marketed it to him or how he saw it or if he's just been following the background. I didn't know it. But he was in the comments on our stream yesterday on my channel, and I don't think he follows me on Twitter, but he retweeted, not me tagging him or anything, he retweeted my, like, hey, I'm almost 300 subs, and it's like, wow, this guy's following us. Like he helped Ricky and Sith come on his stream, and it's like he knows me. And it's like, wow, like this guy, he's aware. Whether it's just to keep his channel viable, which I don't think that's his motive, but even if it's just that basic, little guys like us appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's not just about any single one of us, and I hear what Bonnie's saying. What we're trying to be is vocal. We don't want to be lost in that group at the bottom, at the fringe of what is considered the fandom menace. We want to be renowned as a collective that still follows the fandom menace and be phase 2, wave 2, if you will, so that they don't say, well, that was one instance, last December, and we messed up, and they'll forget about it now. No, we're not forgetting about it. We're all a group. We're here to help each other rise together. We are here to help each other be heard more than anything else. And I want to echo what Bonnie was saying, and I want to be very vocal in appreciating Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers popping into our stream, the Founding Fathers, last night. on Black Angus's channel. So thank you, Jeremy. If you get this, we humbly appreciate that, and we will not be quiet. We will be heard.
That's like for me. I even showed up in my chat and then came on my channel, and I really appreciate that because I didn't even know he knew that I was out there. I mean, granted, Mary retweeted it and he follows Mary, and I think that's what brought him in. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter who brought him in. He came in, and that was something special for him to come into a small channel like mine and be there and be heard. And I even helped Mary. You know, I helped her by bringing her out of my chat onto my channel because there was just something about her. I felt like she had what it took to start something. And she tells me thank you all the time, but I didn't do it just because I wanted the attention. I did it because I wanted to help her. And she's going somewhere now. So that's what I'm trying to do, is bring people out of their shell and do that. As a matter of fact, my daughter, I've been trying to reach her because she's been doing a few YouTube videos with TikTok. And I'm like, I need to get you on my channel. I need to get you out there. I need to get you out of your shell because you could do something. You have the same abilities that I have. You just are too shy. So I'm trying to do that for her, to bring her out. So that's what I want to do. And it doesn't matter, you know, if they're in the Fandom Menace, if they follow Star Wars or not. I just want them to know my channel is open to everybody. For anyone who's trying to get started, anybody who needs that little bit of push to help them get out there, I'm here for them. That's what I want to do for people.
Great. This can only take us forward. That's what is needed right now. This is a big change for all of us. 5 years ago, this would never have happened on YouTube. The disaster of Solo and The Last Jedi is bringing us together in unison, and we're uniting, and big channels and small channels are now mixing together. And this can only be a great year. For me personally, I've experienced a little bit of growth on my channel, and I haven't even scratched the surface. So when I get into this a little deeper, I want to see where it takes me and Flipp and Angus and all of us. And I think that we have what it takes to grow.
I agree. Another person that I have helped is James Clark. He does paintings with acrylics, and he does like the Star Wars paintings. And I've had him on my channel a few times, and he's told me, he's like, you know, in the last couple of weeks I've been on your channel, I've gone from like 1 sub to like 50 subs. And I'm like, that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to do that for you. I'm trying to grow your channel. And he is a great artist, really great artist. And I don't even think he realizes how good he is. I really don't.
I want to give a little shout out to Black Angus for being on this stream at work.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's a weekend security job, so it's pretty easy to come on. Not really any traffic to drop stuff off on the weekends at this site.
Freaking hilarious, dude. I love
it. Guys, this is pretty much all the time that I have right now because it's been a great stream, and you know we are going to be doing this on a weekly basis. Next week we're also going to be streaming again. I might be popping into Bonnie's stream eventually, if not today, maybe inside the week. We'll see. I'll let you know. With the rest of you, you know, Flipp, Angus, and everyone who's watching or was watching, I can find you guys again on Twitter. I really want to take the time to appreciate the guys and the gals that took a moment of their time to sit and, you know, watch our streams and listen to what we had to say. And we will continue doing that in the future as we grow bigger as a channel. So, is there anything that you guys want to say before we log off?
Well, I just want to ask Bonnie, what state are you located in?
I'm in South Carolina.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out people in the collective. There's this burlesque show called The Empire Strips Back, and I found out that they released the tour dates, and the 18th of April they're coming to Cleveland. I'm in the Columbus area, Ohio, and so I'm going to try to get tickets for me and my wife, but I'm trying to do something like Bullshitters where they might go to an event and then meet people afterwards at like a bar or something and celebrate, or you know, just shoot the breeze. So I'm trying to like coordinate with some people for the future if I do get tickets for this, to like we all go, even if we're not sitting together, we all go and enjoy this majesty of a Star Wars Burlesque show, and then hang out afterwards in person.
Cool.
Bonnie, anything you want to plug?
I just, like I said, tonight I'm gonna do my show at 7 instead of at 10:30. It will go through to the 10:30 time, but I'm just bringing on guests on the show to who helped me build the channel to where it is today, and new guests to try to be able to help them build their channel up. Starting at 7 o'clock, so y'all are welcome. And if anybody here is there in the chats and want to come on, let me know. I will offer on my show in the chats for people that want to come on as well. So
Well,
please
Bonnie,
come
even if I don't
with
make, sorry, even if I don't make your stream anytime soon, you should know that you still have my support, and I will be watching your content. It's the least I can do as a thank you.
Well, thank you.
And Bonnie, I will
Like I
likely
said-
be joining. Sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I will likely be joining your stream at some point. I'll keep in contact with you off air.
Okay, cool. But like I said, it's thanks to you guys that I've gotten to where I am. I don't take the credit for any of it. The subs in the chat being there to support me, and you guys individually and your channels supporting me. That's what got me to where I am today. So I don't take that for granted at all. That's why I want to do this today, to thank all of you for supporting me.
Right place, right time. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
I do want to plug next week's Podrace After Party, where we have Mike Rogers from bleedingfool.com, and we also have Anomaly Inc. joining us that day. Please do tune in. Look for the ads on Twitter and support the Fandom Collective. And thank you all for what you do and being here.
Cool.
Thank you. And we'll be seeing you guys on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and be sure to catch our podcast After Party next week, as Flipp Doubt said.
See you around.
Anyway, see you guys.
See you guys.